them Bucs, baby.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake. And how do we start it off here on a happy hump day edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television? Once again, I'm your host, Peter Blake. Three things: bring the passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we'll have Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, talking about what else? Your Go Bucs. Lots of stories going on right now. Opening up the phone calls. We'll just throw it out there. Who do you want to see as the new offensive coordinator for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Can you hear me? There you go. Who do you want to see as the new offensive coordinator of your Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Because, by the way, Mike McDaniel, late Tuesday night, has chosen the Los Angeles Chargers. And please, enough with the nonsense of that's a better situation coaching-wise. That's a better situation quarterback-wise, because Baker Mayfield, with all his faults, has actually won more playoff games than Justin Herbert. Just saying. Yes, he's a talented quarterback. I think it's more about McDaniel wanting to get back to California. Oh, by the way, his wife is from California. I believe she's an esthetician licensed in California. So as we say on this show always, and again, put out the disclaimer, I'm single, but I know this all too well. Happy wife, happy life. So he's gone. So what's next for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? They brought in Zach Robinson for a face-to-face interview. The former Atlanta Falcon offensive coordinator, and they're looking to have Brian Callahan in tomorrow. They had a virtual meeting with Dan Pitcher, the former offensive coordinator, play caller for the Cincinnati Bengals. So there you go, Bucs fans. Open phone lines as always. Who do you want to be the offensive coordinator? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. On top of that, how about Baker Mayfield throwing some shade at the new coach and Kevin Stefanski? We'll get into that. Did you like that, Bucs fans? Some Bucs fans say, worry about the business at hand because they didn't do so well last year being Baker Mayfield versus the Falcons. We'll stand by on the calls because I said open up the phone lines, but let me go ahead and intro the show. I'll intro the show. I'll set the table. You come to eat. So we'll get into that, what he has to say, what Joe Thomas had to say as he took the former coach's side on this, which is kind of surprising. And then we'll get playoff picks from, of course, Harry the Greek. And as always, we'll get your phone calls. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. YouTube Super Chats are open. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Facebook stars are open. So without further ado, I know you can hear me now. Here we go. Here is Mr. Harry the Greek. Let's go out to Harry the Greek, and we'll pose the question as we open up the phone lines. As always, welcome to a happy hump day edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. And like I tell you always, this is like my favorite day of the week. I don't know what it is. Mondays kind of drag for me. I thought Monday's show was good with us being out at Ferg's. Yours truly, along with Harry the Greek, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Before we get into that, what did you think of the national championship game? And oh, by the way, if they listened to you, they would have won some shekels because once again, the Greek is right here on the sports web. You said Miami would cover, and guess what? The Miami Hurricanes did cover. They made it close, but congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers, your new national championship team. So your thoughts?
Great game. Thank God for Indiana's sake that he threw that Beck threw an interception to end that game.
Yes.
Because that could have been a lot different outcome. Really, congratulations to a team that's never done it before. But yeah, but Peter's right. You know, that game opened up originally at 9.5, and it went down all the way to 7.5. So, you know, there's a ton of money going on in Miami late. But you know what? Half a point, it don't make a difference. You still covered if you followed those plays. And you know, Peter, I got to say something. It's the end of the season, basically in football. We only got a couple more weeks to go.
Well, not on this show. Not on this show ever. You know that.
No, I was talking about when I'm giving picks out.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
There's only a couple more picks that I'm going to be giving out for the rest of the year.
Okay.
You know, and there's a lot of people out there. You listen, webheads and people that follow. You guys all have an option on who you want to follow and who you want to get your picks from.
Right.
But again, 73%. This is 5 years in a row. A lot of new shows are coming up, and I can honestly tell you, and I can be a little conceited, I'm often imitated, but never duplicated. And I really hope you've been following the picks this year because you would have won a small package. That's all I got to say. And I have no problem with doing it. And coming up soon, you might find one person that's going to be doing something on a YouTube channel. We're going to surprise you maybe coming up here in the next couple of weeks, and you'll be getting the picks over there as well. Yeah, that's right, Pete. You're going to be smiling and dialing, baby, with us.
I don't know what that's all about. It's the first time I'm
here. The Greeks always got something going up there.
A production meeting. I may have something in store for everybody else also. I won't let that out of the bag until we figure this situation out, because there's a lot of great things coming here in the future when it comes to the evolution of sports talk television.
The evolution means we're evolving.
We always are evolving. It's never stagnant.
Buckle up, Buttercup, because it's going to be a segment of something that you've never done before. And it's going to be quite different because you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, webheads. When you do tune into it, we're not just talking Tampa Bay sports. We're talking all sports.
Well, listen, I definitely think we give them their fill here, but whatever we got to do coming up here in the future, we're going to make it happen, because we're not all about stagnation. It's about evolution. Stagnation is the ruination, in my opinion, of anything. The ruination. Yes, let's go out to, thank you very much. I looked at my thesaurus tonight, my dictionary, before I came on the show as we were doing this production meeting on the fly. Let's go out to the phone lines. Ed leading it off here on the evolution. I've seen Trevor. I also seen Lamar call back. So guys, call in, but let's hear from Ed. Ed, what's on your mind? Welcome to the Sports Web.
Hey, Harry, I thought you were like an 82% tile guy, not 70-something.
No, buddy, let me tell you something. I'd still be really.
Or no, it was 80.
No, the 88% was the 88% rule. That's when the home team is a 2.5 point underdog.
Oh, okay.
So when the road team is when the road team is a 2.5 point favorite at game time, 88% of the time, the home team not only covers, they win. But yeah, I implore anybody to go ahead and Google, some of your top handicappers around the world and find out what a successful handicapper does year in and year out. If you're 55 to 57%, you're successful. Try putting it on at over 70% in 5 years running. It's very, very, very. Look, man, it's unheard of. It's absolutely unheard of. But I don't know. I don't know if you're asking me a real concise question or if you, Ed, I'm just because I know you can throw some digs or maybe some shade, but if it was any kind of shade, I get it.
I wasn't taking a shot at you or anything. I just thought you were like at 88%, but you were talking about a rule that you had that was an 88%.
Yep,
anyways,
88% rule.
I'm yours truly 1-3 fantasy football.
Wow! All right.
That is really, really impressive. Which ones did you get?
I got the ESPN, the Fox, and what was the other one? Oh, the Yahoo.
Did you win any money? Did you win any shekels out of that?
I did. I won money.
How much?
$650.
Okay. Very nice. I like that little sound effect there. Thank you very much, producer.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yes,
yeah,
good job.
That was pretty cool. But yeah, that's the first time I've ever done that.
I just wonder,
listen,
the other shows will say they don't care about your fantasy football team. We will say we do care about your fantasy football team. But I got to say here, you got to hit this sound effect here. Who is in that fantasy football league if you're winning $650?
Friends from at work.
That's when you hit the bong.
Friends from a football club. And
hit the bong. Hit the bong, Harry.
Well, you guys.
That's not it. That's not what I wanted you to hit.
That's good.
Oh, hang on.
That's right there.
Ready?
Here it is.
Set.
Oh, that's great. That's great. All right. So,
well, let's get back to the actual question. The question is I don't know who we should get for our offensive coordinator. It should be somebody that's familiar with Baker. That's all I can say about that.
All right. So, well, the guy that's familiar with Baker would be former Atlanta offensive coordinator, now former Atlanta Falcon offensive coordinator, could be the new Bucs offensive coordinator, and Zach Robinson. What do you think about Zach Robinson? You look at his numbers. Again, not necessarily.
He definitely knows the running game.
Well,
he is a running guy. Yes,
that's a good thing. That's a good thing about it. The rest of the offense didn't do very well. I'm looking at his numbers right now as I bring them up. 2025, 14th in the NFL in total yards per game. 2024, 6th. Again, I think that has to do with Penix being out with an injury. Kirk Cousins, again, playing quarterback roulette or whatever you want to call it, quarterback musical chairs. That doesn't help your offense. Your passing yards per game, 19th in 2025 and 2024, 5th. Rushing yards per game, 2025, 8th in 2024, 10th. So he's actually better in the running game in 2025. And then points per game definitely went down in 2024, 13th, and 2025, 24th. He's worked with Sean McVay before, passing coordinator. He was the hot commodity. A lot of Bucs fans wanted him. And now, ever since McDaniel chose the Chargers, everybody thinks the sky is falling. They don't want Robinson. So are you one of those guys that says McDaniel was the guy, and if you didn't hire him, now the season's going to crap? Or are you hiring Zach Robinson at this point, or who do you want as your offensive coordinator?
Well, how did Robinson do when he had Baker Mayfield as his quarterback? I guess that's the question.
Well, he didn't have them.
Were they good together, or were they bad? Was it a good marriage or a bad marriage?
Small sample size, but he's worked with Baker before when he was with the LA Rams. Of course, they had the comeback there in the fourth quarter, which is being talked about, on with Sean McVay and him coming in on that, 4 days of preparation or a couple days of preparation, Harry the Greek, against the Raiders with the fourth quarter comeback. I mean, that's when he worked with Baker Mayfield. So he knows Baker Mayfield, kind of the same offense as Liam Cohen. So you're going with Robinson. You don't have a problem with hiring Zach Robinson at this point, right, Ed?
I don't know. I mean,
okay. Well, you're giving me nothing here at this point. So.
I mean, I'm trying to give you something, but I mean, if it was a good marriage, if they were together and they had a good marriage, then I'm all for it.
Well,
yes.
I don't think they were in a relationship together, boss. I just think, they one was a passing coordinator / you're working for Sean McVay there. I don't think they're in a marriage. We'll see how it goes.
It sounds like he's got a decent background. So
definitely got a decent background.
Some decent teams.
Yep.
And they were successful. So yeah, why not bring him on board?
All right, Ed.
Something. I just want to see Baker, shine. Okay, not have flashes of greatness like he won half a year and he was great. He was like MVP, whatever candidate, and then go flat, on the other half of the year. I just think if he shines the entire year, that the Bucs will go very, very far.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ed. Appreciate you. As always, use that second call.
Take care, Ed.
Phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 here on a happy
hump day
edition of the Sports Web. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? Turn down your radio, please.
Aloha, Peter and Harry.
What's going on, Lamar from Oregon?
Who?
Yes, sir. Here's my question. I left it in a message.
Okay.
What do you guys think about a head coach that's from a college coming in to be an offensive coordinator?
I think it's a mistake. I think
that is what can possibly happen. And I'm going to tell you why, if you don't mind, Peter. And I agree with you, Peter. I think it could be a mistake. Because I was listening to another show, and it was a take from a friend of both of ours by the name of Blake Anthony. And I got to tell you, man, there's very few people that I'll listen to, because I even have a hard time listening to myself, but I'll listen to Blake. I know Peter probably get a kick out of that one when I said it. But Peter, I'm going to tell you right now, guys, Blake said it best. The Bucs never really hire anybody that's a very big name. And people are going to go, how about John Gruden? No, they traded for John Gruden. John Gruden didn't come knocking on the door. And that kind of makes sense after I started talking to him a little bit. So does it surprise me that Stefanski didn't come here? Does it surprise me that, Miami's head coach, what the hell was his name?
Mike McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel, he went to the Chargers. No, none of that surprises me. But, Peter, I don't know if it would be a mistake, because the Buccaneers, they really didn't strike out with the last three. They had to fire this one. He started out like gangbusters, but the season ended on a very bad note, so they ended up having to fire him. So whatever the Bucs are doing to find an OC, you may not need that sexy pick. You just need the guy that you think is going to be pretty good. And secondly, I hope my quarterback is trap shut a little bit, because it reminded me what he did in the middle of the game when he was pointing to his crotch. Don't call out your form.
So
do that, man.
Well, let's get back to that in just a moment here, because I got something to say about it. I like what he said, but go ahead, Lamar.
So I get what you're saying there, Harry. Yeah. So the other thing is, what are they doing with their previous OC? Are they going to keep him?
No, he's gone.
No, he's already fired. They already fired him. Hey, brother, do me a favor. I'm getting a lot of feedback. Please turn down the volume, because I'm hearing everything in the background.
Talk to us in the phone here, my friend. Talk to us in the phone.
Oh, sorry. I probably muffled because of my beanie. My bad.
That's okay. Go ahead.
It's all right, man.
Okay. I think you guys can hear me now.
Yes.
We could hear you before. It's just when I was talking, I could hear everything coming back 5 seconds later.
Oh,
this stuff happens on radio all the time, and it seems like it happens on this show. It's so funny. You would think it wouldn't happen on this show, but it does happen on this show. So you got to love it.
Okay. And then as far as like the two that you guys have here with like Zach and who's
Brian Callahan.
Callahan be an all right hire.
I mean, Callahan, what was that, Harry?
He'd be an okay hire.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm a guy that supported. I'm the guy that also supported Grizzard.
Like, who's most compatible with Baker right now?
It doesn't necessarily mean that. You could have a plethora of coaches. Baker Mayfield's a very coachable individual. You just have to have something that's going to fit that offense. I mean, and again, and let me point it out, I was not a Grizzard hater like a lot of the people that were out there. I think he was just fine. Someone had to be the fall guy. And unfortunately, it was him and the special teams coordinator and a plethora of other coaches.
And I kind of sucked, to see like that had to happen that way. Honestly think the defense needs to get their shit together.
Well, I think a lot of fans will hold out hope that, the Bucs would hire a defensive coordinator. But once again, Todd Bowles is going to call the defensive plays at this point unless something changes. Lamar, appreciate the time. As always, use that second call if you want to, my friend. All right.
Yeah. New defensive coordinator. Yes.
Well, it's not going to happen. We appreciate the call. Trevor, I saw that you called up. Anybody else wants to call up? The question for the night here: who should be the Bucs offensive coordinator? Who do you think the Bucs are going to tab as the offensive coordinator, the new offensive coordinator of the Bucs? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Robinson followed Raheem Morse to Atlanta when Morse landed the Falcons head coaching gig in 2024. In Robinson's first season as the Falcons play caller, the team finished 6th in the NFL in net yards per game, 369 per 0.8, 8th in yards per play, 5th in passing yards per game, and 10th in rushing yards per game. Last season, of course, they lost Michael Penix to an injury the second half of the season, still finished 14th in yards per game and 8th in rushing yards per game. So a lot of Bucs fans, disappointed about this hire, not necessarily the sexy pick at the time, just a couple years ago. I think there were a lot of Bucs fans wanting Robinson as a new offensive coordinator. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think he could be the new offensive coordinator of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you know what? I like it because it checks all the boxes. He worked under the Sean McVay tree. He's a guy that has had success in the National Football League. He does know Baker Mayfield at the end of the day. I think it makes sense. It makes lots of sense. And, going back to the Mike McDaniel thing, and this from Jeff Darlington, the Bucs and the Eagles both pursued McDaniel as their top OC target. The Bucs were especially diligent in their courtship, and McDaniel was very engaged with them throughout. Ultimately, the lure of getting back to California and coaching Justin Herbert provided the strongest. In your opinion, do you think that Justin Herbert, with his playoff record, is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield? Because Baker Mayfield has more playoff wins than Justin Herbert. Do you think that's a reason? A lot of Bucs fans would mention the reason why McDaniel chose the Chargers over the Bucs is because of the situation with Todd Bowles. Is that fair or is that unfair?
God, I think it's a lot of different reasons. I think the main reason is he wants to be back out in California.
Hi, Jamie.
He says hello. She waved.
I know.
She wants to. I'm sorry. He wants to be out probably in California. But your second part of your question: do I think Herbert's a better quarterback? If I had to pick between two quarterbacks, I probably would have to lean toward Herbert. Not because of the records, Pete, merely because of the fact that he's been with one team. He understands the system. He's got a bigger arm. He's taller. He's got more of the intangibles. But do I think he's got more of a heart? No. I mean, I love Baker Mayfield, but since you're asking me, I probably lean toward him. But that's not why McDaniels went there. I think McDaniels went there for two reasons. It wasn't because of the quarterback. It was because of Harbaugh, and it's because he wanted to be in California.
All right. I agree with you on that completely. And again, I think it's a wife thing. I think his wife is from California. At the time, he wants to get back there. It's a good job. Do I think it's the best job? Do I think they have more weapons than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Absolutely not, especially if you get back Mike Evans and you get Chris Godwin healthy and, of course, Emeka Egbuka.
He's going to be successful wherever he's going to go.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Either one of the two organizations, he would have been successful, Peter. So, I mean, call it like it is.
Agree. All right, let's go out to Lamar. Aloha, Peter H. Blake. Aloha to you. Thanks for calling in. I saw Trevor call in. Trevor, call back. We'll take your call. What's going on, brother? What's going on? Christopher Cole. Evening, everyone. Evening to you.
Yeah.
Christopher Cole. Again, I would prefer Shillhouse, but he can't be interviewed yet. That is very true. So maybe this decision that the Bucs are not making, maybe they're holding out because they did interview him.
I got to go in the back room for a second.
All right, go in the back room. We'll handle this right now. We'll read your comments. We'll take your phone calls as always. 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Buckle up, Buttercup. It's going down soon. Absolutely. A lot of big things going on when it comes to the sports web in the future because it always is evolving. Rob says hello, Peter Blake, and hello, Harry Burke. Tell you what, let's go out to Curtis. Curtis, welcome to the Evolution, my friend. How you doing tonight? Who do you want to see the Bucs hire as an offensive coordinator? Who do you think they're going to hire as the new offensive coordinator of your Go Bucs? Go ahead, my friend.
I don't know. That's honestly the truth.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of it is based upon what's going to happen in these next playoff games.
Okay.
Because apparently everybody wants a Sean McVay descendant.
Okay.
So we all know his offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. They're always going to be looked upon by people for other jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just don't. I mean, and besides Dennis Allen, God forgive me, you kind of want a guy that came up under Sean Payton as well.
Well, I definitely think that's been mentioned. I have not thought about that. I believe Vance Joseph, who is a defensive coordinator of the Denver Broncos, he's getting some interest right now. Haven't really heard of any offensive assistants under Sean Payton at this point, but it goes back to McVay. It goes back to the Miami system, but definitely right now the hot.
Who would want anybody from the offense from Denver? I mean, they struggled mightily to score points this year.
Well,
I'll tell you what.
I wouldn't want anybody from that tree right now.
I agree.
You remember? Okay, you remember? I think it was 2019, 2020.
Right.
Everybody wanted Eric Bieniemy.
Mm-hmm.
See how that worked out?
Who went back to Kansas City, by the way?
Yep. Who Absolutely. had a hell of a year in Chicago this year.
Yep.
Matt Nagy's gone because he's going to take a head coaching position, and they had to backfill it immediately, and they went back after Bieniemy.
Yep. So I mean, Cliff Kingsbury, these guys, these high profile names. Even the guy that went to the Chargers, McDaniel or whatever his name is, McDonald, whatever. I don't care.
McDaniel, yes.
Mike McDaniel. He ain't my coach. He ain't my coach now.
Ronald McDonald.
I love that. I had Mickey D's tonight. I'm loving it. It was good. It's a $5 meal. It's quick. Don't judge me. I like the chicken nuggets and the cheeseburger
you like Hungry Howie's too, so
I do like Hungry Howie's. I like fast meals. I got to stop eating
now
that stuff.
You know what, Harry, in his defense, the thing that I love from Hungry Howie's is those subs.
They are good, right?
The subs are pretty good, Harry.
The subs are pretty. The subs are great.
Other than that, I don't. Well, it's a hot sub though,
and the wings are good. I'll tell you right now, who's a great cook and who cooks some good meals. That's Mr. Harry the Greek. He did that every time we go over there to watch the Bears, which the Bears season's over now, so we're gonna have to figure out a way to get over there any way it goes. Can I get some homemade baklava?
Brother, all you gotta do is show up. It's be sitting here nice and ready in the fridge.
Oh my God. I love you forever.
Listen, Curtis, you've been listening to this show for how many years now? We got to meet up. We got to have a sports web meetup.
About 2017.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true.
And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Harry and Peter, I really love you guys. And the thing about it is for the people that come on here and want to be a prick, dude, don't be a prick. We are literally on here giving our own opinions. Everybody has their own opinion.
Yep.
Okay. People see football from all different points of views. You have fans that are football fans. You have diehard fans of teams. I am a Bucs fan to the bottom of my heart, but I'm also a realistic football fan, and we sucked ass a lot this year. And does injuries and all that have part to do with it? Absolutely, it does. I mean, I watched the Bears Sunday, and I just knew Caleb Williams was going to give it to me on fourth down, and then he gave it to me, and I'm like, the Bears could win this game, and they lost, unfortunately. But
they should have won that game, man.
Yep.
I don't, Harry. I know.
But listen, you can ask Peter, you can ask Tampa Bay Ray, you can ask anybody that was here. I was upset for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, he was upset about 5 minutes because again,
I was going to say I don't even know why, because nobody expected the Bears to be where they were.
Right.
I expected them to be better, possibly a playoff team, not division winners, not to win. But they were a year away. That's a good football team. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Sure,
I think that y'all had a better chance of beating the Seahawks than the Rams do.
And I will agree with that because of the offense. I think Chicago's offense. Yes, you heard me say that. I think Chicago's offense is actually better than the Rams. The Rams have 2 wide receivers. The Bears have 3, and the Bears have 2 tight ends and 2 running backs.
And the Bears have 2 run. Ben Johnson basically has.
Ben Johnson cost that team the game. Y'all can blame that interception that Caleb threw in overtime. But the game never should have went to overtime. Pete, how many points did Ben Johnson leave on the field?
What was it? Something like 9 points.
Fourth and goal from the 2. You're going for it. How about taking the field goal? How about back from the 20?
I was telling somebody that the other day. 10 years ago, people never went for it on fourth down.
Everybody's doing it now.
On fourth down. People go for it on fourth down so much. It's just like a regular part of the game now.
Yeah.
But that pass, bro, I'm just going to paint a picture. It was 8 degrees above zero. It's below freezing. The ball's harder than a bowling ball. And he's running and scrambling 30 yards behind him, off his back foot as he's getting hit. And he throws it almost 45 yards in the air. Really? Right into the breadbasket. I literally. Pete's got pictures.
Comment. I got a comment and a question I got for you guys. The comment is God, I'm stoned. I'm stoned. Give me a second to come back.
Puff.
Yeah,
puff,
I know.
Pass.
I know. Let's go to the question. Well, okay, comment.
Today, Junior. I'm sorry. I was wanting to do that.
I feel like we need a run first offensive coordinator.
You got that with Zach Robinson. That's what you got with him, Bijan Robinson, both years.
And let me ask you this.
Yes.
Are you fine with getting rid of Rashad White? And replacing him with something better.
Yes. You know who it is? Sean Tucker on this team. I'm good with getting rid of Rashad.
They don't need another running back. And that's what I was understanding. You can get rid of one.
You can draft a running back in the 4th or 5th or 6th round. Look at
the Bears, what the Bears did with the 7th round draft pick, who finished second of all the running backs. I mean,
and get a running back in the 4th, 5th, 6th round or something like that instead of spending the money on resources.
Listen, I'm a Rashad White fan.
I know.
I am.
I love Rashad White, but I think he belongs somewhere. He's not.
No, he played his last down. After those comments, that man played his last down of football in Tampa Bay. He absolutely solidified that.
Oh, yeah. He definitely blew that bridge up. That's for sure.
I think the Bucs should get another. As much as I love Cade Otton, I think we need another tight end.
That, my friend, is exactly what they need to target in the draft.
Not even to replace Cade Otton, but we just need another option at tight end.
How about Kyle Pitts and Zach Robinson as your combination? How about that?
I don't want to pay Kyle Pitts.
I'll take him.
You gotta pay. You gotta pay if you want to play.
Oh no, I know that's
Kyle Pitts would be used in this offense, unlike any offense that he's been in Tampa.
Yeah.
Him and Baker, he'd have an out if one of the big three aren't open, and he's sitting all in the middle going, "Hey, look at me! I got single coverage anytime." That would look like Colson Loveland going over the top of a safety.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
I do got one more question for both of you guys.
Sure, go for it.
With the potential of Levante David retiring,
yes,
where do the Bucs go in the draft?
Well, I don't think they go linebacker. I think they would actually go and you trade that pick for Max Crosby. I think you go on free agency. I think you got to go all free agency at this point. You got to be very aggressive. If you have my druthers, you go for Max Crosby, you trade a 1st-round pick, you trade a 3rd-round pick, maybe a player, you get him, and then you go into free agency and you pick up a couple linebackers at that point because you don't have time to draft a linebacker and have him come and learn this defense and, have the bumps in the road. You need veteran guys to come in right away and be productive. You have to be aggressive. You have to draft everything on defense. If it's not a 1st-round pick, 2nd, 3rd, 4th-round pick, defense, and nothing else.
Pete, I'm glad you brought that up about Max Crosby. I don't think that would get it done, and I'll tell you why, because my sources have told me a team is already offering a wide receiver 1, a 1st this year, a 2nd next year, and a 3rd the following year. And they're saying that's not enough. And I gotta be honest with you, Pete. You can't give up more than that just for the one player. And I honestly think where the Bucs are going to be picking, they're going to have their option of either the best linebacker available or the 2nd best defensive edge rusher in the draft available. And then you don't have to pick up a linebacker, in my opinion, in the 1st round. I think you can go 2nd and 3rd round. I mean, let's talk about that, man. I mean, you could. Let me tell you something. The first 4 picks the Bucs are going to make, I'll make you a bet now. It is not going to be offense. That's just my first 3 picks. It's going to be defense. And just take them.
Yeah,
and just take them. And then you've now you're building through the draft. They're going to get automatically better. And then if you want, you can make a trade for a tight end, like Curtis is talking about. You can get a good middle of the road tight end, a lot better than what you currently have, and it's not going to cost you everything to do that. Really, that's what I would honestly do if I were the Bucs.
I will say Peter and Harry, and
I'll give you a couple of names really quick here, Curtis. Nakobe Dean is a free agent. He's a free agent. There's a kid, I believe, Lloyd. He's another free agent from Jacksonville. That's another linebacker. You get 2 linebackers. Even if Levante David comes back, I'm still getting 2 linebackers in free agency. And listen, if you do strike out on Max Crosby and you can't trade for him, Trey Hendrickson, that's the guy right there.
Well, like Harry said, I feel like you can get a good starting linebacker in the 2nd or 3rd round. I mean, and
I
you got to get to the quarterback, man. That's just the way it is. You got to be able to rush.
Here's the other thing. I know a lot of people are talking about Max Crosby. I think the Giants are going to end up trading one of those guys. They got too many defensive ends over there.
It's not a bad thing to have, my friend. But I
don't see them trading anybody out of there.
You can't afford to pay everybody.
They're not in cap space hell or anything, and they can move a lot of things around. All I'm saying is this: I think the first 3 picks for the Buccaneers are going to be people that can really get after it,
Curtis,
and it's going to be on defense.
Defensive end and linebacker. I think all 3 first picks.
Okay, I think that's definitely possible.
Because here's the thing:
you could possibly have 3 day 1 starters.
I think Yaya's good enough. I like Yaya, but him and Vita can't do it all by themselves, and we just need Kalijah to be healthy.
That, my friend, is the problem right there. I'm the one who predicted that they were going to get Kalijah Cansey, if you remember that correctly, Peter, during the draft. But I gotta put me in the back again.
All right, no problem. All right, Curtis, I appreciate the call as always, my friend. All right.
All right, brother.
All right, brother. All right, good stuff. So. Yeah, use the second call, open phone line, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. We'll continue to read these comments. But, yeah, I definitely think you have to address the linebacking situation. You may want to draft a guy, but, how many linebackers transition over to the National Football League? I'm not saying you're not going to do that. I would be more so, like, say you strike out and you can't get a Trey Hendrickson, which I think you have to, or you have to trade for a Max Crosby, then at that point, you're going to have to figure out where you're at. You're at 15. Who's going to drop? Is there going to be a Reuben Bain Jr.? Did you see him the other night, Bucs fans, in the Miami uniform? Mesidor, maybe he's a 2nd-round pick. I mean, that's where you address it. That's where you're going to go. You may have to trade up for a guy like a Bain Jr. Are you willing to do that? Because at the end of the day, you are desperate. You have to win games this year. You can't wait for guys to develop. You can't wait for guys to have bumps in the road and have rookie mistakes. You've got to get a veteran presence at linebacker, 2 of them maybe, and then go out and get a couple of edge rushers when it comes down to it. All right, let's go out to continue to read our comments. Christopher O'Reilly, good evening, gentlemen. Good evening to you.
Oh, yeah.
Harry, Chicago has a bright future. LFG. Absolutely, they do. Let's go out to Jeremiah here. Everyone, Shadow is here. Thank you very much for tuning in, as always.
Yes! Yes!
Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Robinson was a setup to fail in Atlanta from the start with the revolving quarterback situation. Exactly. And again, you look at the numbers, to me, this makes the most sense. If you're looking for a guy that's familiar with Baker Mayfield, check. If you're looking for a guy that's from the Sean McVay tree of coaching, check. If you're looking for a guy that's been successful, check. And then here's another thing that a lot of people are not thinking about. He knows that Atlanta Falcon team. He's from a division rival. So you steal him from a division rival, you may have some type of advantage. Check. Open phone line, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Brian Callahan also coming in for a face-to-face interview tomorrow at One Buck Place. He ran the Titans as a head coach. Also was a part of the Zach Taylor staff there. Had a few games in his second season, gave up play calling duties, eventually was fired after a 1-5 start. Callahan went 3-14 in his first season and was 4-19 over parts of 2 seasons as the Titans head coach. This, again, from the Tampa Bay Times. It's important to note that under Callahan in 2024, the Titans finished 27th in points per game with 18.3 through the first 6 games before he was fired this season, or that season. The Titans were last in total offense and ranked 30th in the league with 16.7 points a game. So not necessarily numbers you want to write home about, but obviously the Bucs see him as a guy that they're interested in. Dan Pitcher has also been talked about, so we'll see how that all works out. But I definitely think Robinson could be the leader in the clubhouse, or the Bucs wait this out. They wait for the Rams and possibly interview. I think they're going to go with the guys there with Zach Robinson. Tell me what you guys think. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Todd Monken. That's also been talked about. He had a face-to-face interview, I believe it was last week, with the Bucs. But it looks like he's going to join John Harbaugh. But he's familiar with Baker Mayfield. He's worked in this organization from 16 to 18, so it makes some sense. Although, like a lot of these offensive coordinators, he's had his fair share of failures. He, his first year he comes in with Baltimore, he sets the world on fire, and then the second year after that. That's
good enough to suck right there.
That's the reason why he's out there right now taking interviews for an offensive coordinator. But, all signs are pointing to him joining John Harbaugh and the New York Giants there. Of course, the new coach of the New York Football Giants. So congratulations to them. We got some guys out there. The goofball himself, the giant goofball, Andrew Davis, doing his 2 giant goofballs. I know he's excited about the hire. And oh, by the way, I'm just saying, I did tell you that Harbaugh was going to be the guy there, and he would choose the New York Giants over the Atlanta Falcons. Just saying, Todd Bowles needs to be fired. Todd Bowles not going to be fired. I'm sorry. I know that this is what Bucs fans are screaming about. They want Todd Bowles fired. It does not look like it's going to happen. It does not look like it's going to happen. If they wanted to fire him, they would have fired him already. So he's not going to be fired. They're going to keep him. They're going to keep the culture. He had one bad season. We'll see if he can turn this around. Keep hope alive, I guess. I don't know what to tell you at this point. I mean, Bucs fans just continue to come on social media and say, fire Todd Bowles, fire Todd Bowles, fire Todd Bowles. And my thing is this. The Glazers have learned from their mistakes from the past. And this goes all the way back to firing John Gruden. Remember, they fired Tony Dungy. Fans wanted Tony Dungy fired because why? Couldn't get over the top. You hire John Gruden. He wins you a Super Bowl. Then he can't get you over the top. Then after that, you have the combination of Raheem Morris, who didn't work out, got blown out of two years. Greg Schiano and 3 years. And then you had Lovie Smith and Dirk Cutter. So you can sit there and say that he's not necessarily the best coach of all time with his record of 35-33. And of course, some people will sit there also and use the Jets record, but no coach has been successful with the New York Jets ever. That organization is trash. So I think it's unfair to put that record in there. But fans will do that. They want new coaches. They want a new shiny new toy. What I'm telling you is, if the Glazers wanted to do that, they would have done it already, and it looks like it's not going to happen. So Mike and everybody else can scream, fire Todd Bowles all day long until the cows come home, but most likely they're not going to fire Todd Bowles. The question for the night, who do you want to be the new Bucs offensive coordinator? Who do you think the Bucs choose? Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Chris Cole. Why no defensive coaches interviewed yet? Exactly. Hello to your wife, Harry. Absolutely. Let's go out to KR. Evening, Peter and Harry. And this OC hire has to hit all the boxes for sure. Because of Bowles status, fingers crossed, we get the right one. Go Bucs. Absolutely. Go Bucs. Go Bucs.
Wait up, little boy. Wait
up. Let's see. Go Bucs.
It's exciting.
Go Bucs.
Fire the cannon.
Go Bucs. There we go right there. Let's go out to Brightside Broadway. Hey, Peter, what's going on, Brightside? Hey, Harry. Let's go out to my beautiful mother, Sandra Nagel. Thanks a lot for tuning in. As always, watching the best sports talk show in the Tampa Bay area, the Sports Web. Harry Berg, sorry about Chicago. Wish they would have won the game. Lamar, the Bears should have won that game. Sorry, Harry. Yeah, I mean, again, do you fire Ben Johnson if he doesn't work out next year? Some fans would like to do. Quick on the trigger. Fire coaches all the time. I mean, Sean McDermott, he's gone. Look at his record during the regular season. Look at his playoff record. Do you think that was the right fire? Was that the right time? A lot of Bucs fans want Sean McDermott at this point. Is that the guy you want to hire? He's a defensive-minded coach. You go from one defensive-minded coach to another defensive-minded coach. I don't know. It just seems like Bucs fans just want to fire people. I get that. You want to feel better about the season because it was so bad the second half of the year. I get that. I understand it. But also, I tend to be an eternal optimist, to a fault, and I think this team can turn it around. They got to turn it around. They got to be more aggressive in free agency. That falls on Jason Light. That falls on what they're going to do and free agency and the draft and everything else like that. Thank you, Blake Anthony. No, you are the man. Defense on the draft. Early, tight end, running back on the back end. That's it. Blake says you have to get to the quarterback. You have to. That's what you struggled with all last year. You couldn't get to the quarterback. You didn't have a consistent pass rush. You didn't have it. You look at the teams around the league that can get to it. When you can get to the quarterback, it makes a difference. Look at the Houston Texans. If C.J. Stroud doesn't throw 4 interceptions in the first half and he's able to take care of the ball and let his defense do the work, more than likely the Texans are moving on because they're that good of a defense. But when you turn the ball over and you lose the turnover battle, that puts your defense puts their backs against the wall. Let's go out to the phone lines here. Brightside Broadway from North Carolina. Welcome to the Evolution.
Thank you, brother. My pick would be Zach Robinson.
And why Zach Robinson?
I think he's one of the only choices we have left. He works well with Baker. I think he would work well with Baker, and I think he has the experience.
He does. He definitely has the experience. He was calling plays the last couple of years for the Atlanta Falcons. Good year and then had a bad year. I think it's more about the quarterback being hurt with Michael Penix going back and going out with an injury, having that revolving door when it comes to quarterbacks. So I definitely think it affected the offense. It didn't affect the running game. And listen, this Bucs team last year struggled with the running game, whether it was Bucky Irving. It was definitely Bucky Irving missing 7 games, having offensive line injuries, but you definitely have to improve that running game because we've seen how dynamic this offense can be when you have that balance to your offense and you take the pressure off of Baker Mayfield. And of course, the defense has to account for that run game. So you can't necessarily, just play the pass, play this, team one-dimensional, right?
Exactly. And one other thing, Peter, I want to add that you've said before multiple times.
Yes.
And I've gotten a lot of flack for it too. But I like to be positive, and I like to cheer on my Bucs regardless of what's going on. And I agree with you. If we let go of Todd Bowles, we will have to redo the whole system. Let's give the Glazers a chance. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's be positive and get behind our team and get behind the Glazers and see what happens after spring training. And then talk. I mean, I agree with Harry. We need to pick up on defense. And I agree with you. For the draft, we need to pick up on defense. Defense is one of my top priorities in the draft.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's defensive end. I think it's edge rusher, and you definitely have to fill the linebacking role. And you may have to address the corner situation because you most likely are going to lose Jamel Dean to free agency. Anything else, Brightside?
But it's not our worst year yet. it's not been our worst year yet. And we do have some bright things in our future. And I do think Baker has a fire lit under him from what happened with Atlanta this past week in his post that he posted about the coach in Atlanta.
Well, we'll definitely have to talk about it. We're going to definitely talk about what Baker Mayfield had to say. Brightside, appreciate the call as always, my friend. All right.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Appreciate you. Open phone line 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Let's see here. We'll go back out to the comments here. Greek, who do you pick to start franchise at running back, Sweetness or Gale Sayers? I'll throw it in there. I would say Barry Sanders. That's who you would start a franchise with. Love Sweetness, love Gale Sayers, but I definitely think Barry Sanders is in that conversation. I think Emmitt Smith could be in that conversation, right? But definitely Barry Sanders. To answer your question, we need DBs in the draft. That certainly may be one of those things that they would address going forward, especially with the possible loss of Jamel Dean. Although, once again, you have Benjamin Morrison, you have Jacob Parrish, but you can always fill that position. Once again, defense. I think they go in this 2026 NFL draft. Dean is trash. Lloyd is the closest thing to David. I like that. He said Nakobe Dean. The two linebackers from Texas A&M. Blake Anthony said, I said last offseason to go for the Giants, Kayvon Thibodeau. But if you go for Thibodeau, he's not going to be given away. I don't think the Giants are going to give him away. But we know that, listen, Jason Line has made trades in the past. He's made a trade for JPP. Remember, got him as a third-round pick. Maybe that's the direction you go. Maybe it's not a Max Crosby, but you have to address this position of edge rusher. It is it didn't work out last year with the players they had. It didn't work out with Anthony Nelson. He's a nice player. He's a nice rotation piece. Hassan Reddick was disappointing. You pay him $14 million. He's coming off the books. You're not bringing him back. You've got Yaya Diaby. You're hoping that Kalijah Kancey can stay healthy for this team. It's a big if because he hasn't been able to stay healthy for the last 2 years. So any way it goes, you're going to have to definitely address edge, whether it's in free agency, whether it's in the draft. You're going to have to do both. I think you're going to have to double dip at this point because you can't just put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah, you can get a veteran. What happens if you get a Trey Hendrickson, you pay him all that money, and he gets hurt? So I could definitely see Jason Light addressing that position both times there, whether it's free agency and the draft. OL depth, please. Absolutely. Could definitely look at that. How does an interview go? What do you talk about? I assume offensive strategy. I mean, I like to be a fly on the wall. I don't know what they're talking about. You would think it would be offensive strategy. You would think it would be some type of plan. What do you plan for the offense? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? And, Jason Light, Todd Bowles are going through these interviews and they're seeing, what? Is this guy a fit? Does he fit what we're trying to do? Because it's all about that. Everybody looks at names, but it's about fits, right? We always talk about it. If players fit, the coaches fit, does it fit? So we'll see who fits at this point. I think Zach Robinson is a good fit. I think he is a good fit. I get him from that McVay coaching tree. You've seen some success there. And once again, he knows a Baker Mayfield, and he gives you that advantage to know what the Atlanta Falcons are doing in that NFC South. I definitely think those are things that the Bucs are considering with having these interviews. But to answer your question, I don't know what's going on in that interview. I like to know. I know there used to be a thought process to when you're bringing people in that you're also not just having them as an interview. You're trying to gather some information to get an edge over everybody else. You're trying to gather that information. That could also be what's happening right now at One Buck Place. Zach Robinson is the only choice left. Okay, Dave, like that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Lamar. I'm not saying fire Todd. I'm saying we need a different DC, but that's not going to happen. Certainly doesn't look like it's going to happen. Brightside Broadway. Zach Robinson is my next choice as well. Brian Wilson says Zach Robinson. A lot of Zach Robinson tonight. So again, that's the question for the night. Who should be the offensive coordinator of your Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2026? Who do you think it's going to be? Who should it be? Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to King Cook. What's good, Peter? Happy hump day, sir. Happy hump day to you.
Hump day.
My favorite day of the week, as always. Man, have we traded for Max Crosby yet? No, we have not traded for Max Crosby yet. But if the Bucs do, we got you covered here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. YouTube Super Chats are open. If you like the content, give to the content. And, of course, Facebook Stars are open. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Right now, we're on Twitter. Lots of people watching there. The Sports Web on YouTube. WATB Sports there on Facebook. Thanks a lot for tuning in. And, of course, my page, Peter H. Blake. So never be a stranger when it comes to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Bucs fans, football fans, you're always welcome here on the Sports Web. But we'll see if we get Harry the Greek back here because he's supposed to give his playoff picks. Playoffs. But yeah, I think he is right now busy. So we will carry on the show. Tell you what, I'm going to go out to, what was that? All right, hold on a sec here. Want to go out to this phone caller because he's been calling all night long. I'm going to see if I can get him on the phone because I don't like to have callers call in and not answer their phone. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. We're going to call this guy back. We're going to see what he thinks as the phone lines are open for you guys to talk about who you think should be the offensive coordinator. Who do you think the Bucs?
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Well, that doesn't work. So we went straight to voicemail. So we can't get him back. Let's go out to Richard DR. Robinson, Callahan, and pitcher. Who would be best suited to take over as a head coach if need be? Definitely think Robinson. I think Robinson could take over, I guess. I mean, offensive coaching wise, offensive coordinator, you look at it, taking over as a coach. I tend to think that if this does not work out, that you're going to go to Mike Tomlin. I think that would be the next coach, maybe a Sean McDermott, but just knowing the history of the Glazers and understanding that, again, the secret was put out there that the biggest mistake they ever made was letting Mike Tomlin get out of that building. And now he's, open to maybe coming back to coaching next year. I could see Mike Tomlin next year if it doesn't work out. Let's go out to Alex. Alex, welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend.
Would you mind if I take a little curveball real quick? Curveball.
I knew you were going to do that. Hold on a sec here. Stand by. Let me put you on hold really quick. We'll come back to you, okay?
All right, no problem.
All right. Nicholas Jackson, let me put you on hold really quick as I see you're watching on Instagram Live. I appreciate that. Stand by. We're going to come out to Alex. You can stand by. I know you got some things to say here about this Bucs OC search here. So we'll put you on hold here, all right?
Okay.
All right, let me go out to Alex. Alex, what's on your mind? I know it's baseball, right?
A little bit of baseball, a little bit of hockey. You know, in my opinion, right now the Bucs are in their off season. I know you talk a lot of Bucs, but hey, this is the Sports Web. We talk all sports. So, what are your thoughts about the news going on this week? We got a partial approval from HTC for a potential new stadium across the street from Ray J. You got the Bolts, who just got a $250 million renovation coming up, on top of the fact that the Bolts just extended their lease for, I think, 2043-ish.
Right.
What are your thoughts about all this news coming out? Almost baseball season 2. I know we're talking a lot of Bucs, and that's what we do a lot, but we talk all sports here.
I don't know what to think about the Rays on the field because they haven't done much. They've gotten rid of Josh Lowe. They've gotten rid of some guys, Shane Baz, Brandon Lau. I'm surprised by that, but then again, they're cutting salary, so I don't know what to expect. Off the field, I don't think it's a surprise that they're at HCC. As I said before, I've heard this from the people that I talked to. JP Peterson has been reporting this for months now. And, of course, I think Major League Baseball knew The reason why you have these owners in the first place is because first they're connected with who? Ron DeSantis. So they've been able to talk to Ron DeSantis. And I think there was some type of approval, not only from him, but also from Major League Baseball. And this is the reason why they own the Rays in the first place. So am I surprised that the HCC location is working out? No, because I think it was a test run last year and they saw that people would show up. And it makes lots of sense. This is where the population is. I love downtown St. Pete. I love everything about it. But I think in the grand scheme of things, they definitely belong in Hillsborough County, especially in the HCC site. Now, when it comes to the Tampa Bay Lightning, well-deserved, a great organization that is on fire right now with their point streak. I think it's 14 games in a row with the point, which is amazing. With all the injuries, they're one of the greatest organizations in all professional sports, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Stadium Series on February 1st at Raymond James Stadium. Now, Tell me, who do you think is going to be the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and why?
Oh, that's a tough pick. I really wanted McDaniels to come in here. I thought his offensive-minded and what he brought to the Dolphins, regardless of Q1 and his injuries and whatnot. I was really looking at potentially him. But, I believe Robinson, is that his name right? Did I say it right?
Zach Robinson, yes.
Zach Robinson. I think that's a hot take. I'd like to see him come in here. But listen, I don't really want to talk about the offensive coordinator. Let's talk about them shots fired by Baker Mayfield this week.
Well, we were definitely going to get to that, but let's get to that. Let's see. D. Orlando Ledbetter, the writer for the Atlanta Falcons. Of course, the Falcons, if you will, just hired Kevin Stefanski as a new coach, was writing this. He tweeted this out. Kevin Stefanski had a dumpster fire at quarterback in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson failed, which started a chain reaction to 11 other starters. Quarterback Shedeur Sanders closed out last season with 7 starts. With that being said, Baker Mayfield saw this tweet and tweeted out this. Failed is quite the reach, pal. Still waiting on a text call from him after I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach. What did you think of those comments? A lot of Bucs fans said he should be focused on the Falcons because he hasn't done very well, didn't do very well last year. But I like the fact of when Baker Mayfield is like this.
Wait up, little boy. Wait up.
I like when he's shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
When he has that chip on his shoulder, that's what Bucs fans should look forward to. And I think it's going to be very, very entertaining for the next, 2 games this year, having the Atlanta Falcons. And, oh, by the way, anybody saying that Stefanski, he deserves some credit on this, this was put out there, and I have the statistics. Here's the numbers. Here you go. The numbers don't lie, and this is from Jordan Moore. Baker Mayfield without Kevin Stefanski and the Browns, 41 games, 14,400 passing yards, 14,400 passing yards, 105 touchdowns, 45 interceptions, 65% completion percentage, 2 other playoff appearances. Kevin Stefanski without Baker, 1 playoff appearance, lost 45-14, 16-26 record, 10 different starting quarterbacks.
That's great off the shot right there.
To add, the playoff appearance was with who?
Baker Mayfield. He won their first playoff game there in 2020, 2021. Yeah.
Listen, I stand by what I said when the Bucs got that final loss, and you got your first show in here after the final loss. And I said this. Going into next year, regardless of the coaching, I really do believe you're going to look at a revised Baker Mayfield. You're going to see the Baker Mayfield that I think you saw a couple years ago. You had a very injured offensive line that was banged up. You had a lot of injuries. On top of the fact, I still think it's going to come out that Baker Mayfield was battling through a lot of injuries this entire season.
Right.
So, I mean, if you add all those three together, or those 2 things I just mentioned together, with the injuries and the offensive line, you're not going to get good football. It's unfortunate, but it's what happened. It's the National Football League, and as we've always said all season, anything can happen on any given Sunday. So listen, just got to get that offensive line healthy. Get a good OC in here that can mix up the run game with the pass game, because I just don't think that's what we saw. I don't think we saw the full potential of this offense on all phases of the offense. You didn't see a healthy offensive line all year long. People have no idea how hard it is just to make a shuffle every single year. And I'm going to say this too. You got to still give Josh Grizzard some credit while he was here, regardless of him being let go or not. That man had to face a lot of adversity. That man never got the potential to actually settle in and use this full offensive line or full offense in general in one piece, because this man faced injuries every other week. No one was healthy. No one was on point. I would have liked to see, as we got guys back, maybe things a little bit more stable. But unfortunately, I guess that's where the Bucs and the Glaciers thought that maybe Josh Grizzard isn't a good fit here. But listen, get a good OC in here who can mix the pass game with the run game, do what we can do as a healthy offense. And then I think this offense will be back to 30-plus points a game, what we saw from Baker Mayfield 2-3 years ago. On the defensive side of the ball, well, listen, get some pass rush in here. Got to have some pass rush. Other than that, I got to say, I took a couple of weeks to reevaluate everything. You know, I'm not going to give Todd Bowles an F. I'm not going to give the coaching staff an F, because at the end of the day, I don't care that we lost. I don't care that we finished under 500. People just don't understand. It's so hard to deal with the injuries that we dealt with every single week in and week out. And it's hard. But I want to see, going into the draft, going into the off season, Jason Licht has to take some blame here. I think you and I, and many people, including Harry the Greek, has even agreed too that Jason Licht has to take some blame here. Got to do better in the draft. Okay. Pick up that pass rush. Get some upgrades on the defense. Get that offensive line healthy. And Peter, I'm telling you, man, you're going to look at an offense next year that's going to put up to 30-plus points a game like you saw 2-3 years ago with Baker Mayfield. I'm not giving up on Baker Mayfield. I'm not. I think he has a lot of potential. And guess what? That tweet, that nonsense is only going to put fuel to his fire. And you're going to get a lights-out Baker Mayfield coming into 2026. So, hey, listen, great season, not technically great season, but great season to look forward to. And if you're a Bucs fan, you should be amped up by all that nonsense, because I think it was all nonsense, because Baker Mayfield is just so underrated, and people just underrate him and his talent. And there's not many people that can deal with the injuries that he had to deal with and still be able to get out of the pocket and make the offensive plays that he did do with what little he had, especially on that offensive line.
All right, Alex, I appreciate the call.
Great stuff, my man.
All right, my friend. Let me go out, because we lost him. I want to get back out to him, so I'm going to call him back so we get him on. Like I said, anytime you call in. Nicholas Jackson there in, Arizona? Welcome to the Evolution, my friend. What do you think about this OC situation with your Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I like it. I mean, you know, I was hoping and praying would be Mike Daniels, but you know, I'll take him. I'll take a Zach Robinson.
Why would you take a Zach Robinson?
I mean, I guess because coming from Atlanta, I just think he gives a little bit more of more of a push for our offense to be a lot better, like how Atlanta was and stuff. But I don't know where they were ranked at, but I like it. I mean, I like it a lot.
All right, good stuff. So what do you think about this whole situation? Because I haven't heard from you in a little bit here. What do you think of the OC search? What do you think of the Baker Mayfield comments? Do you like the Baker Mayfield comments? Do you like when he has a chip on his shoulder? Or some fans would say Baker Mayfield just needs to shut up, keep his thoughts to himself, and stay off social media. What do you say?
Stay off social media and just play football.
Wow, so you don't like the comments? He doesn't pump you up what he had to say against Stefanski?
I just don't like it. I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, if you beat the Falcons, cool, but I just look at it like, hey, just stay off social media and stuff like that. Hey, worry about your own team and just worry about the Bucs.
All right, good stuff, Nick. Anything else here on the sports web?
Nah, that's it, man. Go Bucs.
All right, man. I appreciate that. He said, "Go Bucs, go Bucs."
Wait up, little boy! Wait up!
Go Bucs.
Fire the cannon!
Todd Bowles is excited.
It's exciting!
It is exciting, Todd.
How about them Bucs, baby?
A lot of Bucs fans are not excited right now. All right, open phone line, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. We'll go out to these comments. Again, YouTube Super Chats, Facebook Stars. Give to the content if you like the content. We'll hold off on the playoff picks. We'll get Harry the Greek on here this weekend. Maybe we'll have a weekend show. You never know here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Again, open phone line, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Brian Wilson. No McDermott, but the problem is Todd Bowles has to be better. I agree. Definitely has to be better, especially when it comes to clock management situations, when it comes to, you know, having these guys ready to go, having his coaches, because he's going to have a new staff there. So you're going to have a new special teams coach. The Bucs hired Danny Smith, 72-year-old from the Pittsburgh Steelers, worked under Mike Tomlin, one of the top special teams coaches in the National Football League. Again, I'm excited about that hire. I think that was needed to be done, especially with Thomas McGahee as the coach here last year. Was one of the biggest problems of this team. And as we always talk about, right? It's offense, it's defense, and it's special teams. And the special teams lacked last year with blocked punts, blocked field goals, opposing teams having, kickoff returns for long gains, just not acceptable. So hopefully Smith will be able to turn this situation around when it comes to the special teams. Brian says tight end wasn't consistent. We have to get some of this stuff in free agency. You may. I threw it out there. Kyle Pitts Jr. Is that a guy that you want to see in a Bucs uniform? It makes sense that the Bucs hire Zach Robinson. He's familiar with Pitts. Maybe he's able to recruit him. Maybe you double dip once again. You get your division rival there with Pitts, and you put him in a Bucs uniform. Nothing against Cade Otton. I like Cade Otton, but he's not able to stay healthy. He's not able to stay consistent, and you don't get him involved in that offense. I'd like to see, what the plan is of this new offensive coordinator, no matter who it is. Is it Robinson? Is it Callahan? Is it Pitcher? Is it Monken? Is it somebody else that they're not interviewing yet, that they're waiting on? Open phone line, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. So certainly a possibility. Chris Cole here. Gruden set the Bucs back 15 years. Let's go out to Matthew Ray Byrne, 9417. Gruden struggled to get Antonio Bryant and Joey Galloway on the field at the same time. Definitely, absolutely. Definitely struggled in that manner. Zach would have a solid personnel if he came to the Bucs. Absolutely. Kayvon Chason, that's a great pick. He's a free agent. That would definitely be a great pickup, of course, for the New England Patriots. But you would think they would re-sign. I believe he's with the New England Patriots, right? They'll re-sign him. Former Jacksonville Jaguar. They drafted him at LSU. Raw prospects, been able to developed and had a good year for the Patriots. So I like that pickup. Light also passed on Danielle Hunter when the Vikings only wanted a third-round pick. Yeah, that was a whiff, a swing, and a miss on that. Trey Hendrickson, absolutely. Is Gerald Mack done in the NFL? Gerald McCoy, he is done in the NFL. Why is Baker worried about what's going on in ATL right now? He should be focusing on not turning the ball over late in games instead of Stefanski, because there is something there. There is something there from the past. He felt like it. He was thrown underneath the bus. You read all these reports from the Cleveland Riders there, as I believe he said in so many words, paraphrasing, you need an adult in the room, and that's why they got Deshaun Watson. And, of course, that was a disaster, and it's been a disaster. And Stefanski has tried to say that he wasn't the guy in the first place that wanted Baker out, that wanted Watson, because it's been a albatross of a terrible contract at that point, and that's the reason why. So I think Baker is feeling a certain way, and he's putting it out there. He's telling some truth, and I think it's good. Now, Joe Thomas took the coach's side today, being Stefanski, and he said this to Baker. He said, I could be wrong, but I've heard that communication is a two-way street. There were no laws against you, Baker, sending Stefanski a text or calling him after you got traded. Why would he? Why? Like, I understand, what he's saying, but why would Baker Mayfield call a guy that he knows got him traded and didn't give a crap about him? Why would he call that coach? Why would he text that coach when he's feeling that way? I don't understand this thought process at all. I understand he's taking his coach's side here, but, to me, Baker's right in this. I'm sorry. And Stefanski may get exposed. The last 2 years for the Cleveland Browns, 8-26. Awful. The Bucs are cooked next season. Todd Bowles will get us to 8-9. Van House Life, you just amaze me with the nonsensical comments that you have all the time here.
Shut up!
Thank you for nothing, as always. Kayvon Chasen, edge rusher, along with Trey Hendrickson. I like it. I like it a lot. Double dip. Get 2 players here. I don't care if you have Yaya Diaby. I don't care if you have David Walker coming back, which some fans would mention, which the Bucs were going to be dependent on. He's coming off an injury. I'm not taking any chances. Double dip in free agency or the draft, whether you get an edge rusher or a couple edge rushers in free agency, and then address it in the draft too. Because you have to be aggressive. You have to have players that are going to come in right away, be productive, get after the quarterback, and improve this defense. If not, then everybody in this NFC South is improving. You look at the Carolina Panthers being in the playoffs. They showed out. Even though they didn't beat the Rams, they showed out. They're getting, they're improving. The Atlanta Falcons, say whatever you want to about their ownership, but they still have, some of the great talent there in that division with the Bijan Robinson, with the Drake London. And, of course, Stefanski wants to prove himself. And then, of course, you got the Saints. They look like they found their rookie quarterback. So nobody's getting worse in this division. No matter what anybody tells you about how the NFC South is a horrible division, nobody is getting worse. That means the Bucs have to improve, and it comes back to defense. You got to stay healthy on offense. I think you'll be fine there. You got enough weapons. You got to have a healthy offensive line. You have to have some tweaks there, maybe address the running back situation later on in the draft. I still think you're going to have Sean Tucker. I still think you're going to have Bucky Irving. Got to keep him healthy. But that offensive line, that is important. You can't lose both guards and lose your left tackle for the majority of the year and think that, your offense is not going to stumble, is not going to have their problems, right? Because there were a lot of roadblocks in their way. And that's the reason why that offense struggled in the first place. Phone lines are open, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Why wait a year? Go sign Tomlin now. I think Tomlin wants to take a year. I think he wants to go do some TV. I think he wants to, hang out with his family, spend time with his family. 19 years with the Pittsburgh Steelers, being a defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, doing a great job there, being a part of that Tampa Bay organization. Yeah, you don't want to hope for it, but you're thinking again, looking in my crystal ball, if this does not work out with Todd Bowles and this coaching staff, everybody's fired, maybe even Jason Light. I love Jason Light, but maybe the Bucs reset. Maybe they keep Jason Light around. I like, again, Light and what he's been able to do with building the team. But the last couple of years, he has definitely missed when it comes to, defensive players, edge rushers, guys to make an impact on this defense. You don't have that, and that's what you need to fill going forward here when it comes to free agency and the draft in 2026. Great show, Pete. Thank you, Mr. Roger Shue.
Acknowledge me.
Let's go out to Realtor David Zuzman. David Zuzman, I said Jason Light, and there is Realtor David Zuzman calling in. I knew that was going to happen. Welcome to the evolution, my friend.
Hello, it's not from you, and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you. Hopefully your New Year is going good.
Yes, it's going good,
Okay.
but I'm afraid we're gonna further regress this year.
And why do you say that?
I think like last year it was already tough because we could have made some moves to address, for example, middle linebacker and edge position. And looking at the draft, where we're going to be drafting, and looking as well at the free agents that are going to be available, I don't see a clear path to add the people that we actually going to need for this year, right?
Right.
Uh, I'm also concerned about the OC situation because now I hear that the Zach Robinson is the favorite, right, to be the new OC, and I just think it's a really bad move.
Why?
You know, like I mean, the guy, he had Bijan Robinson, he had Pitts, he had Drake London, a really good O line with no injuries, and he couldn't make the Falcons play well. So why would we think that he's gonna come to Tampa Bay and do something relevant when he couldn't do anything in Atlanta with a good team?
It's a fair point, David Zuzman, but you also have to say the revolving door of the quarterback position definitely didn't, help matters, especially with Michael Penix and the injury, having Kirk Cousins, not necessarily, again, he's very productive against the Bucs. Everybody else, not that great. So I think the revolving door quarterbacks, I tend to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I tend to look at 2 years before. What did he do 2 years ago with a fully healthy Atlanta Falcons team? One of the top offenses in the league. And once again, when he was getting hired and when they were doing interviews, a lot of Bucs fans wanted Robinson to be the offensive coordinator. And now it seems like a lot of Bucs fans are sour because he's not the the new toy at this point. But again, from the McVay tree, has proven success. Has worked with Baker Mayfield before, knows the Atlanta Falcons. To me, it's a slam dunk. And somebody's texting me right now, according to Greg Allman, he is still actually interviewing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So this could be done anytime now. This could be a done deal. And if it is, we will definitely we got you covered here. If it is breaking news from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Zach Robinson being the new offensive coordinator, we'll see.
Yeah, so let's see. Like, I would rather see them interviewing again Nate Skillhouse from the Ram. Yeah, I think he's very creative. I think the job that he's doing right at the Rams, it's it's obvious how good it is, the passing game. So I would rather see us getting someone newer and more creative. But let's see what's going to happen. But I'm very concerned. I think this offseason is going to be very, very tough. And I don't see Jason Light being the guy who is going to be pulling rabbits off the hat. I'm very afraid that we're going to regress.
All right, I appreciate it. Chillhouse, to me, again, everybody's talking about him. He's receiving a lot of attention because he's getting head coaching interviews. But I think it would be a mistake because you need somebody to come in here right away, call plays. Has he been able to ever call plays before? Somebody talked about getting somebody from college. Can they call? You can't afford to take the chance of somebody to have that transition process. They need to come in right away, know how to call plays in the NFL. Love Shillhouse, think he's got a bright future. But I don't know if he's a fit for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. We'll see. Anything else, David Zuzman?
No, that's it. So I'm just looking forward for the draft. I started to look at all the videos to see all the pass rushers and all that stuff. And I would love to have Arvell Reese. That guy is just unbelievable. I have no doubt that he's going to be an elite player year one, but he will probably go top 5. So it's not really feasible, unfortunately.
From Ohio State, you never know because guys have bad combines. They start to drop a little bit. Their stock starts to drop. You have Reuben Bain Jr. What did you think of him? Because some people are high on him. Some people. I see a guy that has a constant motor, makes things happen, can play against the run, can rush the passer. I like his motor. I like him. I don't know if he's going to be there at 15. And listen, if you're Jason Light, maybe you have to trade up for him. But that's the kind of chance that you have to take in this season. David Zuzman, appreciate the time. As always, use the second call if you want to, my friend. All right?
All right. Sounds good. All right. Thank you.
Yep. Good stuff there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Lots of intrigue right now as you're waiting. You think there's going to be something that's going to happen here soon. I'm going to make a prediction. I think it's Zach Robinson. I think that's the leader in the clubhouse. I think that's going to be your new Tampa Bay Buccaneer offensive coordinator. Too many things make sense. Knows Baker, checks all the boxes. Oh, my goodness. Well, let's go ahead and go out to this guy. Should have had him on tonight. Let's go out to Mr. Jason Powers, Powers on Sports podcast. Of course, doing some big things there with Spectrum Sports 360. What's on your mind, my friend? Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television here on a happy
Hump Day
edition. What's up?
What's up, man? I just was watching you guys. Can I get some Where's my Nikolai Volkov music?
I don't think we have that anymore. I think we got I got this for you. Here's our old friend, Mr. TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network.
Go away. Go away. I will hold the door.
There you go. There's TJ Reeves right there. So what's on your mind tonight, boss?
None, man. Just talking little Buccaneers. What's been the chatter with the web heads about the OC spot?
Well, the webheads, they thought the sky was falling. Some of them thought the sky was falling because you didn't get Mike McDaniel, who, he decided to go back to California. By the way, his wife is from Northern California, and I believe she's an esthetician, has a license there. So, again, happy wife, happy life. Let me put it out there, Jason Powers and crew and webheads. I'm not married, but I know this rule all too well. Happy wife, happy life. That may be a reason why he chose them. And, oh, by the way, you get a chance to work with Jim Harbaugh, who is a great coach in his own right. And you got Justin Herbert. I think Baker Mayfield's a better quarterback. Playoff record would say that he's a better quarterback than Herbert. But, again, he chose them. So I think right now a lot of people are saying Robinson, not the splash higher. But I will say this, Jason Powers, and you can talk about this. He checks all the boxes, right? From the McVay coaching tree there, knows Baker Mayfield, has worked with him before, has had success in the
sex. Easy there, Peter.
Success, yes, success. It's getting late here. Maybe I need to get out of here for a minute. Success, not sex. Success in the National Football League with the Atlanta Falcons, just 2 years removed from being one of the top offenses in the National Football League. And, oh, by the way, he knows the Atlanta Falcons. So, to me, Zach Robinson right now, and according to Greg Allman, I guess he's still interviewing. I mean, what are they doing over there? What are they talking about? How I thought he was interviewing today. Now he's over there still. I mean, what's going on here, Jason Powers? Is this the guy that you think the Bucs would tab, or should it be somebody else in your opinion?
I don't know. I don't know about Zach Robinson. I worry because when he was in Atlanta, he didn't, did he maximize all the weapons he had there with Drake and Bijan? I don't know if he maximized those guys. And what elite things did he do in Atlanta? Did he do anything elite? I don't know about that. But the Bucs might have their hands tied a little bit. When they got a head coach that's definitely on the hot seat. Dude, some of them, maybe a coordinator or two, maybe they have their eye on, maybe tells Bowles or that they're not interested because it's potentially a 1 year. It's 1 year and out the door if they don't make big improvements. Who knows?
Yeah. No, I definitely think that that's something that we didn't really think about because he could be a lame duck coach. And then on top, but I will think about it this way: every offensive coordinator besides not named Josh Grizzard has gotten a new coaching job here. So listen, if you're Zach Robinson, if you're Dan Pitcher from the Cincinnati Bengals, if you're Brian Callahan. And you improve this offense, maybe you get an opportunity to be the next head coach in waiting for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or you get another job, much like a Dave Canales or Liam Cohen, the snake from Jacksonville, like he got.
He's not come on now. He ain't a snake.
I feel a certain way about it. I was petty from 1 to 100. I was 100 petty on Liam Cohen. I don't like the situation, how it worked out. And I got to tell you right now, Bucs fans were telling me the last couple of weeks, this is the guy they should have hired. And my response to them is, well, he's sitting home just like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All the greatness he did with the Jacksonville Jaguars, guess what? He's one and done. And Tom Brady had something to say about that.
That's good enough to suck right there.
Exactly. So we'll see what they do here
Well, you are.
with the owner, who is the real James Bond villain instead of an NFL owner, and Shad Khan there. So what else, my friend?
No, I was one thing I want to say this to you. Can we get Baker Mayfield to shut his mouth? I don't need to hear the 12-year-old Baker Mayfield running his mouth about Stefanski, please.
You didn't like that? I kind of like that because Baker Mayfield, what do we know?
That is immature Cleveland Brown Baker Mayfield that led to his demise as a quarterback.
But if you really truly think about it, we were throwing this out there, the stats were out there, we saw the comments. Of course, you guys saw the comments. He had his best year, 1 year where he won a playoff game with the Cleveland Browns. He was successful, and I think he felt like he got stabbed in the bin. That's a personal thing. He put it out there. He responded to D. Orlando Ledbetter there, the writer. He didn't think he was a failure. I think that's harsh. He was just telling the truth. And listen, Baker Mayfield, a lot of Bucs fans need Baker Mayfield to have that chip on his shoulder, to have that energy, whether you like him or not. And somebody put this out there. He's got that Michael Jordan complex where he's going to create some controversy to motivate him, whether it's mature or not. I like it. I think it makes him better. I think it brings out the best in him. And listen, it's cinema this year, Jason Powers, because we always talk about, Atlanta Falcons, disappointing loss there at Raymond James Stadium. You're not able to get off the field there on 4th and 14, 3rd and 28. But this just adds another, log to that fire, if you will. Watching Baker Mayfield, watching Kevin Stefanski, whether you like it or not. I know you have your opinion on it. But if you look at it, you look at the story, Stefanski kind of threw Baker Mayfield under the bus, and Baker Mayfield's kind of, trying to tell the truth. And it's true. He did throw him underneath the bus because he said something along the lines of, we needed to have an adult in the room. And you go after a predator like Deshaun Watson, who's been absolutely atrocious. That contract is an albatross. I say an albatross, Jason Powers.
But we know that was a Jimmy Haslam deal,
was it?
That wasn't a Kevin Stefanski deal.
I don't know. It seems like it was a Stefanski deal, and it seems like Baker Mayfield is kind of trying to tell that truth, whether a lot of people like it or not. But I like to see it. I like the trash talk a little bit. I think it's kind of harmless. I think it's funny what Joe Thomas had to say today, which, Jason, you saw these comments. Does this make really sense? I could be wrong, but I heard the communication is a two-way street. There were no laws against you, Baker, sending Stefanski a text or calling him after you got traded. I mean, what is he going to tell him? F you. Thanks a lot for getting me traded. Thanks a lot for throwing me underneath the bus. I mean, there's nothing that needs to be said at this point. Baker feels that way. Baker felt like he was a piece of trash, and that's the way Cleveland treated him. And oh, by the way, ever since Stefanski's, he's been an awful coach. In the last 2 years, by the way, 8-26. So
I just want to see Baker again. Baker did himself no favors the last 7 games of the year this year. He was a big part of the Bucs' fall. He did not play very well. I know people don't want to sometimes say that, but that's the truth. He did not play great the last 7-8 games of the year.
Nope.
That led to some of the Bucs why they weren't in the playoffs. I just want to see Baker stick to being a quarterback. Baker, you've stabilized your career. He's playing for his future next year in Tampa. I don't think the Bucs are going to extend this guy this year, so he's got more to prove. Don't you agree?
Well, I definitely think he has something to prove because it was disappointing, and I think he was one of the reasons why. And I think it's funny and comical that a lot of Bucs fans continue to bring up Todd Bowles. And listen, he deserves his fair share of blame with the malpractice of coaching. And you told me that you're going to get back all your weapons, and you're actually going to get worse. And Baker Mayfield is going to be a catalyst of that. I would say you're completely insane, but that's exactly what happened. And whether Baker was hurt, the offensive line, we talked about it with, losing both of your guards, losing, having all that reshuffling on your offensive line, it doesn't help. It's all about the continuity. You didn't have that. And Baker Mayfield definitely didn't play well, and he'll be playing for a big-time contract extension. I think he's a franchise quarterback, but he has something to prove this year. And, Jason, that's why it's so important to get this offensive coordinator spot and job filled and get it right, because if you don't get it right, more than likely heads are going to roll. Everybody's going to be out, and you're going to be starting over again, whether it's going to be Mike Tomlin, Sean McDermott, somebody like that, or even a young coach. You're going to have to go on that direction, and it's a shame. Were you surprised that Todd Bowles got kept? Because a lot of the fan base wanted him gone, wanted him fired. Were you surprised they kept him? Do you want to see Todd Bowles gone, and did you want to see a young coach here with this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team?
I don't know if I want to see a young coach. I think I told you this. We talked about this. I don't think this was a great candidate pool this year of candidates. So I think Todd probably survived because there weren't any huge names out there. Had Tomlin said he wanted to coach, I think Tomlin would be potentially the coach of the Buccaneers right now. But obviously he made that decision. He didn't want to coach this year. He may never coach again from what Rondé Barber said. So keep an eye on that. You know, the guy I told you that I thought potentially could be a fit here if Green Bay decided to move on from Matt LaFleur, which they didn't. So I think, again, another break there. I never thought John Harbaugh would be a good fit here. So I think Todd, he has plenty to blame here too, but I think Todd was a recipient of not having a great candidate pool this year.
Yeah, I definitely think it's right. We're on with Jason Powers on Sports Podcast. We got to get him on the show here on video, get his face on here, because we always got phone calls with them. Spectrum Sports 360. Tell them about it, Powers. Promote yourself here on the sports web and give me some thoughts on that college national championship game. A very good game. Indiana, though, Miami covered, according to the Greek, which he was right, but Indiana wins the national championship. Promote yourself, talk about the national championship, and we'll get you out of there on this.
Yeah, just check us out on Spectrum Sports 360 at 10:30. I'm on periodically, not every night, but I'm on periodically throughout the week. So we got to like all the topics of the day. So check us out. We're going to try to get you on there one of these days as well. So let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah. Let's go.
And as far as Indiana, I mean, this is the 1 in 100-year story, man. I mean, you could make the argument this is one of the top 3 or 4 sports stories of the last 50 years when it comes to a team winning come from absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, this program 2 years ago was bottom 15 or 20 in the country. Hate to say it, but that's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Mendoza is a great story. I guided, it's a 2-star athlete, wants to go to Miami, can't go to Miami. His father, teammates are Mario Cristobal. He gets that revenge. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing, and I think he's going to be the number 1 pick of the Raiders. I think Brady is just licking his chops at this point with getting an opportunity to get a quarterback like that who has the moxie, has the grit, has the athleticism, has a great a sense about him, understands the game. He's not all into social media. He's not all into this. He's focused, athlete focused. I think it makes sense for the Raiders to draft him.
Yeah, well, he's going to be if the Raiders pick if the Raiders make the pick, he's the pick. The Raiders do if some other team paid them an absolute ransom, i.e. 3 number 1s, something like that. I could see the Raiders trading the pick, but highly unlikely. Obviously, Brady was in the building on Monday night in Miami. I think the grit and the guts and the composure Mendoza showed probably clinches that he's going to be a Raider. But, a team like the Jets, a team like Cleveland, who knows, they could overwhelm the Raiders with, 3 number 1. And if somebody offers the Raiders 3 number 1s, you got to take it. I mean, I don't know if Mendoza is a once in a generation quarterback. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't, but he's not Andrew Luck and he's not John Elway coming into the draft, I don't think.
Final question. The Bucs, their relationship, Jason Light, John Spytek have, of course, Tom Brady being a minority owner. You think there's a possibility there they kick those tires and try to trade for a Max Crosby, give up?
Absolutely. If you're the Buccaneers, you're telling me you wouldn't trade the 15th pick plus something else to get that guy? Now, I'm not trading 2 number 1s and 2 number 2s, but I would trade the 15th pick I would throw in a player or two if you had to. I mean, a guy like, would you throw in Jalen McMillan to make this deal happen? I would. I'd trade the 15th pick in Jalen McMillan for Max Crosby.
Maybe a Chris Godwin, as crazy as that sounds. Maybe.
They're not going to take his age, I don't think. Now, they would take a McMillan.
Yeah.
A guy that's still got a couple more years on a rookie contract would be an instant starter for them. I think they would do that.
I don't know about McMillan. I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll see, Jason Powers. It's something definitely that we're going to be discussing here in the next couple months. And I definitely think, and I know you feel the same way, that Jason Line has to take some blame for this, not making a trade at the deadline, not doing more. You have to be more aggressive when it comes to free agency. And, of course, you have to be more aggressive when it comes to this draft. We'll see if they trade that 15 pick, if they hold on to it. Who knows? Maybe a Reuben Bain Jr. is there. I doubt it. But a lot of people say, they don't like him. I see a guy that can play the run well. He's not athletically the most gifted. People, they look at ceiling, but I look at, the more I look at him, he's got the constant motor. He's a guy that gets after it. He's from the University of Miami, so he's well coached. I just think it'd be a slam dunk if he's there at 15, or if the Bucs have to trade a couple of spots up to get him. I think it would make sense. I really do. I think you see a double dip there. If you can't get a Max Crosby, you go after a Trey Hendrickson, and because he does have that health concern, you go and you get an edge rusher here in the draft. Jason.
Yep.
Appreciate the time, man. As always, thanks a lot for coming on.
We're
definitely going to get you on video here next week. Thanks for coming on the Sports Web here on a happy
Hump Day
edition, my friend. Keep on doing what you're doing, all right?
Keep up the great work, Peter Blake. We'll talk to you soon, bud.
All right, brother. Good stuff there. Jason Powers, my tag team partner of the world. Open phone lines. Let's go out. We had Corey call in. Dave? All right, Sun Devil Dave. How do we start off this show?
Great job. Hey, thank you for wasting my time. Goodbye forever.
There you go, my friend.
Great job again tonight. I'm a little under the weather, so I sound a little stuffy right now, but I'll be fine.
I can hear it.
I'm trying to get used to this dry heat here in the Valley of the Sun, but I'll be all right.
Right.
So, hey, I want to give a big shout out. Number one, Indiana Hoosiers. What a great story. What a great run. I mean, remember 2 years ago, this team, the program was dust. I mean, there was nothing. I mean, they had I think they had the most losses in Division I history.
Mm-hmm.
So they built up a good run last year. I believe they lost to Notre Dame in the first round.
Right.
And it's ironic that the best college football team in Indiana is not Notre Dame. It's University of Indiana.
How about that, huh? Isn't that crazy? What Kirk Cinnetti's been able to do with this team has been amazing.
It's just amazing. Yep. And again, a lot of it has to do with what kind of similar to what Arizona State coach did. He just, you got to find a lot of individuals that playing with the chips on their shoulder. That's what he did. I mean, they went out, they recruited. I think he got a lot of recruits from James Madison and some other amazing players that were not, overlooked obviously by some top tier Division I teams. I mean, the Big Ten, look at it, they won 3 in a row now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's amazing. Kudos to them. I'm looking at the next thing I want to talk about is Robinson. So a lot of controversy. Is he going to be the best fit? They say, well, he had all that talent, with Pitts and Robinson and London, and they won 8 and 9. But is it more impressive that they went on that big? They won like the last 4 or 5 in a row.
Yeah.
And they beat a really good Rams team. They play with a lot of heart and desire. Last year, I believe Robinson's stats. Look at, I think he was 5th in the NFL in total offense.
Correct.
So I think that is, like you said, he checks all the boxes. I think it's more impressive that he did show some consistency at the end. Remember, they lost what they thought was their number 1 QB pretty much for the season. Now, Cousins is great. Now, could have Bridgewater done the same thing as Cousins did for the last 4 or 5 games with the Bucs? If, let's say, Mayfield was out, do you think that our Bucs OC could have done that? I mean, I don't know. I think it's more impressive what the Falcons did the last 4 or 5 weeks. Also, with what Mayfield said, probably a little unnecessary. I know that Mayfield upset at what's his name, Stefanski.
Stefanski. Yeah.
So I mean, he should be more upset with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. They're the ones who says that he failed, and he also probably should be upset with Browns management and ownership. I mean,
Well,
I know that
he
Stefanski has
should be upset with Stefanski because according to him, he threw him away
Well,
like a piece
yeah.
of trash. That's how Baker felt. Baker
Well,
was there.
he did say that, but I don't know if Stefanski has the, I think the GM and the owners probably have a say so too and how they want to do it. But we'll see what happens. I think, like I said, Mayfield really needs to focus on taking care of business in 2026 and getting the Bucs back in the playoffs.
Right.
I love Baker. I wish him the best. I'm just so glad that the Bucs don't have to worry about electronic substation issues that are causing injuries like they have in the Niners. Did you see that crazy story? I sent you that, right?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Low
see
frequency
that story.
magnetic fields.
Yes.
I think that my friend David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson have something to say about that.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
It's ridiculous.
I'm a big X-Files guy. But no, maybe there is truth to it. They're saying that's causing a lot of soft injuries because of those electromagnetic fields next to 49er Stadium. So I wish them the best. I hope there has been a lot of rash of injuries, and with Mahomes and those other injuries with Kittle, and they happen a lot on natural grass too. So we can't blame artificial turf.
Right.
A lot of those injuries. So hopefully there'll be better days ahead with the NFL and how they get these individuals ready to go for the season, so we don't have so many injuries, throughout the year. A lot of non-contact injuries as well.
Right.
But I'm going with the Bucs. I mean, I think Robinson's a good fit, and I think the Bucs will need to make a couple big deals. I kind of like what you said about the Max Crosby. I think the other guy on that sports channel just talked about
Jason Powers,
number 15, maybe a McMillan number 15. I think we probably have to get a number 1 too, maybe a future number 1, a 15, and maybe McMillan to get Crosby.
Well, I'm not giving away two number ones to McMillan. I give away one number 1, maybe a third.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to give away McMillan.
Maybe a 15. Well, I mean, a 15 and then a future. I think you have to give away 2. I think you have to with that caliber of player. But we'll see. I mean, I know that we trust him. He could probably wheel and deal. Maybe he'll be like Costner in draft day. I want all my picks back, so we'll see.
And I want David Putney.
Can't wait for April, man.
Right.
Yeah. Now we got to wait. I'm exhausted from this weekend, man. I'm totally exhausted. Just what happened to the Bills. Look what happened to the Bills. I mean, McDermott gets fired because of some BS play. I thought that when you have possession, when you have hands on the ball and your knees down and opposing players on top of you, you're down. That's what I thought, but I guess they didn't think he was down. That was a very strange call. I feel bad for Josh Allen. Feel horrible for the Bills. I mean, I feel horrible for the Bears as well. But Caleb just had me. I mean, I know you guys probably are going nuts, but I just went off the chain. I was screaming here at this sports bar in Chicago. In Phoenix, it's a Chicago sports bar, of course. And I just went nuts. I just started hugging strange people and just grabbing people and screaming, and my heart was out of control. So, looking forward to the big season 2026 for NFL. We do got XFL though in a couple of weeks, baby.
Oh, XFL.
We'll do XFL preview.
Gotta love that. Yeah, XFL. No Florida teams.
You got the Orlando Storm, right?
Yeah, Orlando Storm there.
Road trip.
Yeah, road trip. All
right.
Hey,
thanks again for having me on the show. I wish you the best out there. I miss you guys in Florida, but I'll probably be back there maybe in November to visit. But I'm doing really well here.
Sounds good, brother.
Happy.
I'm happy.
We'll keep in touch. Go Bucs next year. Go Devils. Thank you for wasting my time, and goodbye forever, and have a great night. Okay.
All right. Good stuff there, son. Devil Dave right there. Good stuff. We'll go out to these comments, and then we'll probably wrap it up for the night. Thanks a lot to everybody calling in, texting in. Appreciate that. You guys are the lifeblood. Bucs fans, Bucs Nation, football fans in general. So let's see here. Why is Baker Mayfield worried about what's going on in Atlanta right now? He should be focused on not turning the ball over late in games instead of Stefanski. Van House life. The Bucs are cooked next season. I think we read some of these already. So much false hope for Baker. Laugh out loud. He's so worried about Stefanski. It's a problem for me. He's got much more to worry about with this team and his offense than that. King Cook says, and the fact that we didn't go and get a top-tier OC shows that Light and Bulls will not make any splashes to make this team better. They will have to prove me wrong. That's a fair point. At this juncture, I definitely think that Zach Robinson, a lot of people saying he's not a splash. He may be the right guy. Maybe not necessarily the big-time name that a lot of people wanted, Mike McDaniel. but he may be the best fit when it comes down to it. The Bucs need to trade Baker Mayfield. This guy's a mid-level quarterback, will never win in the playoffs. He's already won 2 games. I don't know what you're talking about. Kyle Trask is a much better quarterback. Yeah, that's why he's on a team right now. Peter, per Greg Allman, Zach is still interviewing with the Bucs this evening. Okay. Brian says we draft the best in the 3rd round. Brian again. I like Baker chip on his shoulder. Hypes me up. Fire the cannons.
Fire the cannons.
We shall right there. Let's go out to Brent O'Neill, 7267. Then send him back to Cleveland. They're not going to send him back to Cleveland. Stop it. They're not sending him back to Cleveland at this point. We're going to hold off on phone calls. Let's go out to King Cook. We most certainly indeed need to be making a play to get Kyle Pitts. That's not even a question if you ask me. Laugh out loud. Boy Wonder KR. Sounds like Zach might be our new offensive coordinator. Thinking so. Facts. Brent, I'm sick of Baker Mayfield. We ain't winning nothing with him. Anyway, you've won games with him. You won a division with him. What are you talking about? You won more games than Justin Herbert. Everybody wants to scream about how Justin Herbert is a great quarterback. He hasn't won a damn playoff game. He hasn't won anything. Let's see. Baker Mayfield 1-9 in primetime games. Okay. Van House Live Fire Todd Bowles 2026. I'm starting it early for next season, Peter. Great. Cook, these Bucs media guy, give Baker Mayfield every excuse in the world. Listen, you can sit here and say all you want to, but the guy had multiple injuries, whether it was an oblique injury, whether it was a knee injury, it was multiple injuries. And then on top of it, you have to deal with the reshuffling of the offensive line. Again, if you listen, which some of you Bucs fans don't listen at all, especially on this show, been very critical of Baker Mayfield and said he's one of the reasons why this Bucs team struggled in the second half going 2-7. So take that and smoke that in your pipe, all right? Open phone line, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. We need a quarterback. Who do you want as the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? You know this organization can't develop a quarterback, can't develop a young quarterback. Who do you want as a quarterback? Anybody in this draft at this point? Who do you want as a quarterback, Brent? Since you threw this out there, you threw it out there, put it in the YouTube box there, YouTube Super Chat, Facebook Stars. Again, going to hold off on the calls. Facts, and it's sickening. Van House Life. Bucs should get Drake May. Not happening. Sorry. He plays for the New England Patriots. They're not going to be able to trade. Stupid comment.
That's good enough to suck right there.
Let's go out to Brian Wilson. I think we beat the Falcons as long as Stefanski is there. Certainly a possibility. It's crazy. We're still waiting on a damn OC to commit. All these coaches signing left and right, and we still got nothing. Laugh out loud. Be patient. Okay. Let's go out to Cole here. Cole, welcome to the Evolution CSB, brother. What's on your mind, my friend? Zach Robinson?
Peter, I was going to let it go. I was going to let it slide, just do my little comment thing, to see things in the background. People talking about trading Baker Mayfield. Are you out of your freaking mind?
It is getting late.
Man, I love this Tampa Bay fans total crap. Who else you going to get? Like you said it. Who else you going to get? He's the best quarterback for this team. I love this guy. I love this chip on his shoulder crap. Come on. It makes Atlanta must-see TV. I love this guy for us. He's got a chip on his shoulder just like every other Tampa Bay fan. And I'm talking about true Tampa Bay fan, not these Tampa Bay fans that show up and they came in here as Jet fans, came in here as Yankee fans, came in here as what other out-of-town fan. I'm talking about guys like you and me who grew up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We always get slighted, and he always gets slighted. He's the perfect quarterback for this town, period. End of statement, end of story.
Agree. I completely agree with you. And I love the fact that he's talking trash. I like the fact, and again, somebody said you're comparing him to Michael Jordan. The mindset of Michael Jordan was to create something negative and make it out of a positive, to take something and be motivated by it. I'm not saying he's
perceived slights. That's Correct. What he built a career on perceived slights.
Correct.
This guy doesn't think that he's going to do, all that stuff. And this is what Baker does. He perceives slights. Do you think he's really serious? Like, I can't believe this guy. He talks about Atlanta, the radio, the article saying that's crap. He calls out the guy, Andrew Ledbetter or whatever his name is, Not So Better. He calls him out on that tweet. And that's all about it. That's what he's about. Is I have a perceived slight, and so you guys suck, and that's why I'm going to kick your butt. And if that's what he needs to be great, then fine. Whatever you need to do, that's cool.
Yeah.
And as far as this offensive coordinator stuff, I love the fact that everybody's going to slide back. I like the Robinson deal. Everybody says, well, we didn't get this guy, we didn't get that guy. Who cares? Like it's not like we haven't had great minds in the building before. And I don't think Todd Bowles lasts 2 years. I think he's gonna this year and this year only, and then we move on.
Do you think
that's just how it is?
Do you think he gets fired? Do you think he retires? Do you think there's a coach in waiting at this point? I mean,
I don't think so. If you're going to get the guy that they wanted, the former Miami coach, I think that's a coach in waiting. And I don't think the Glazers want a coach in waiting. They want to do a whole new search, because these candidates are crap this year. And it goes to show you that they were really serious about changing Coach Bowles. If they could have gotten Harbaugh, if they could have gotten the Pittsburgh head coach, they would have done it in a heartbeat. But they couldn't get those two guys, or they didn't want to deal with Harbaugh's demands. They didn't want to let go of Jason Light. Now, if Jason Light has a crap draft or he's not too good, doesn't do too good, I think they might think about trading and moving on. But I think right now, Jason Light's job is safe. Todd Bowles, not so much.
Well, I think both of these guys at this point are going to be under pressure, especially in 2026. So you have to be more aggressive again in free agency in the draft, and you're going to have to make some moves, and they're going to have to come in right away and be productive. This defense has to get better. This offense, all facets, has to get better, and especially the special teams. That's why they hired the coach yesterday from Pittsburgh, 72 years old, but one of the best, special teams coaches in the National Football League. So you're going to have to improve on that, and we've seen it. Listen, it comes back to haunt you. I mean, you look at Miami the other night versus Indiana, all three facets of the game: offense, defense, and what happens to hurt them. Special teams, block punt, missed field goal, game, set, match. Indiana is your new national champion. What else, Cole?
And I tell you what, the Big Ten, best conference in college football.
Wow.
Period. End of statement. I mean, all these SEC honks, how many championships you guys had in the last 3 years? That'd be zero. How many championships any other conference had in the last 3 years? That would be zero.
Love it.
And, I'll tell you what, USF, I'm excited about this staff, man. The offensive staff looks pretty good. I'm excited about next year for USF, and however many years the guy goes. I don't think he's going to be here very much longer after that. You and I have dinner on that. I don't think he's going to last the contract, but whatever, what can you say? And as far as the Rays are concerned, I'm excited about the HCC thing. We'll see where that goes, because I don't know. I mean, they had a lot of things signed and, plans made, and then at the last minute, the rug's pulled out from under us. So who knows? But so far, so good. I'm excited about things in Tampa Bay, and excited about your show, Peter. Excited about seeing your ugly mug on TV, as Jason Powers once said, or said earlier tonight. So the possibility of that, let me know, and I'll just go find somebody who's got Bay News 9. It ain't going to be me, but I'll find somebody who's got Bay News 9 and watch your ugly mug on TV, dude.
Hey, man,
congratulations on your show.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. As always, CSB brother there, Cole. Thanks a lot for calling the evolution of sports talk television, and we'll see you soon, my friend. All right?
All right, man. Take care. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Right, good stuff there. All right. We'll continue to read comments, and then we will get out of here for the night, because it's getting late. It's past 2 hours at this point. This is what we do. I think we beat the Falcons as long as Stefanski is there. I like that. Okay, read that. Cook, they're running out of excuses. Again, no excuses being made. We tell the truth on this show. I don't think an injury is a concern. Multiple injuries are an excuse. And then furthermore, when you're missing both of your guards at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily help matters. Ken Hagan said today it's ACC Orlando concerning the Rays, not looking good for keeping the Rays here. HEC looks like a deal at this point that's going to get done. Again, I would say that this deal is definitely going to get done, and that the Rays will be here for the long-term future. Cook, I think these young OCs don't want Baker Mayfield, and these guys know it. I don't think that at all. Van, again, the Bucs are taking their time. The Glazers, the Jason Light, Todd Bowles, they're calculated in their decisions. Just because fans don't get what they want when they want it doesn't necessarily mean the Bucs made the wrong move. When you talked about Dave Canales, did you think that Dave Canales, because he was a candidate that nobody thought that came out of left field that was successful, and oh, by the way, is coaching the Carolina Panthers to a pretty good success. Did you expect it out of him? How about Liam Cohen? They take their time. They get the right guy that's going to fit their organization and it's going to fit their offense. Maybe Baker Mayfield should have cried in the locker room after the last game so the Glazers would fire Todd Bowles. Brent says these young guys want young quarterbacks. Not always. So Baker Mayfield is an old washed-up quarterback. He's Aaron Rodgers now. I thought he was 30 or 31 years old. That's an old quarterback? Let me know. Aaron Rodgers, that's an old quarterback. You got some old quarterbacks in Russell Wilson. That's an old quarterback. Baker Mayfield's still in his prime. Josh Allen's tears for the Bucs head coach position. You know I'm right. Talking about the Bucs is depressing now. Sorry about that. King Cook, all facts. Lamar, David's choice on OC is pretty good. He's right. Bring in completely different look. That coach has a lot of success with the Rams. King Cook, women will never be happy. Never. Can't sign Tomlin because he's still under contract with the Steelers for the next 3 seasons. I believe you can trade for him. Which again is something that the Bucs and their owners have been able to do in the past. Peter, you're tripping. These good OCs don't want Baker Mayfield. They're showing you how the NFL looks at Baker Mayfield, and I think you're completely wrong about this. I think it's more about, again, the Bucs making their decision. They have plenty of offensive coordinator candidates. Let's go out to Eric Moreno. Eric, welcome to the Evolution.
What's going on, Peter? How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good, man. We're trying to figure out who's the next offensive coordinator of your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who do you want to be the next offensive coordinator? Who do you think will be the next offensive coordinator for the Bucs?
I wanted Mike McDaniel, but I think I think Zach Robinson could be good. I mean, he's from that McVay tree.
Okay.
I know Falcons fans were like, oh, he sucks and stuff like that, but I think he could do wonders. He had Penix and Cousins, and I think maybe we can get Algier from Atlanta. But I think even that LSU running back Josh Williams, even though he got suspended, I kind of like him as a third running back.
Right.
I think he can make Bucky and Tucker if we get Cody Mock back. Hopefully, you think he'll be cleared by training camp?
I definitely think so. I think the offensive line is they may change some positions there. You may have
Bredesen at center and Barton at guard.
Maybe that's the change you make at this point. You're absolutely right about the right guard. He needs to get back there. You need to solidify that offensive line. And then what was your other question with that you said besides the offensive line? What else? Do I think he'll be ready by camp? Yes, I think he'll be ready. The Williams kid, I think they moved on. I think you moved on at this point. You go with Sean Tucker, you go with Bucky Irving. And if you want to get somebody in the later rounds or as an undrafted free agent, it's been proven that you can do that. That's the direction you could go.
Yeah. I want to take I saw a mock draft. They had them taking that Penn State running back, but we have bigger needs, corner, edge rush, defensive line. Vito's not getting any younger. You don't know about Kancey. He's been hurt every year.
Yeah.
When he's on the field, he's great, but you gotta, if he can stay healthy, I think, I think he can have, 50 pressures, and that helps out Yaya. And then maybe, what's the kid, David Walker. I'm excited to see him. I think he can, be a 7-8, 7-8 sack, maybe 9 sacks. And Yaya took that next step.
Well, you definitely need to take that next step, but you got to find somebody. It's either in free agency. I definitely think it's in free agency. And again, I think it's in the draft, but especially free agency, you got to be more aggressive, and you may have to trade for some players, or you may have to sign some big time money when it comes to guys, free agency wise. Trey Hendrickson, somebody like that, maybe a Chason that's been mentioned. We'll see how that plays out, but that's where I think you go. What else, Eric?
Do you think what would you put the chances that Lavonte David coming back, or do you think he's done?
I don't know. I talked to J.P. Peterson after the game, after they beat the Carolina Panthers, and it certainly seemed like he could be done. But then again, it's up to Levante. I think, this is what it plays into, right? If the Bucs are going all in, if they're being aggressive in free agency and the draft, if you're getting, the right guys, maybe Levante David decides to come back for another year. A lot of people say Mike Evans could leave here. Mike Evans is not going anywhere. But
I think no.
Maybe he could consider retiring. I don't think Mike Evans is going to retire, but I think he's definitely looking at the moves that the Bucs are making to see if this is not only going to be a playoff team, but eventually a Super Bowl team. So I think it plays a part in it. My gut is saying that Levante could be done, but maybe he changes his mind. Maybe he feels like, you know what, I'm going to give it another year here and see if this is going to work out and finish the job.
Yeah, because I have a bunch of Mike Evans stuff. I don't want to get rid of. I want to hold on to it. But
well, you're not going to get rid of it. We're talking about Mike Evans going anywhere. All right, what else, Eric?
Is this is the Rays HTC? Is that getting done? Any thoughts?
My thoughts are it's going to get done eventually, and it's definitely going to be a boon for Hillsborough County, and it's going to be great to be a part of it because I'm right down the street. I think it gets done eventually. I think it's always in the whole grand scheme of things. The reason why this team was sold to the owners in the first place is because they had some type of deal like this. And once you have that new stadium, then you can, you draw lots of fans here, a lot bigger population. You saw it last year. They were able to sell out. And then on top of it, when you get that new stadium there in a new location, you're able to have that revenue so you can spend in free agency. And not only can you be a competitive team to win the AL East, but also go for a World Series championship. Make sense?
Yeah. One more question. Do you expect the Bucs to name an OC before like mid-February, maybe beginning of February?
I think it could be any day. I think it could be tomorrow. It could be any hour, any day now in the next 24 to 48 hours. Hold on to your hat because I think the Bucs will name their offensive coordinator. And my prediction is it's going to be Zach Robinson.
How about Dan Pitcher or the Callahan guy? He worked with Burrow in Cincinnati.
They're interviewing Callahan tomorrow face-to-face, and I believe they've already done a virtual with Pitcher. So we'll see. But I think Robinson's the pick. I don't know why. I believe he's the guy.
Yeah, I wanted Chillhouse, but I don't think. I mean, he hasn't called plays, but apparently he's in the running for the Raiders, and the Raiders want an offensive-minded. So
that's it. Well, everybody wants an offensive-minded coach at this point. There was also a report out there, Brian Flores, top defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. It looks like he's earned an extension. He was thought of getting a head coaching job unless he gets a head coaching job at this point. Again, it's the way of the NFL. Flores, great coach, great defensive coordinator possibly, but maybe not a head coach at this juncture. So we'll see. It looks like he's going to stay with the Minnesota Vikings. Eric, appreciate the call. Keep your head up. And we'll see you soon here on the Evolution, my friend. All right?
All right. Zach Robinson did play with Baker, right? He has experience with Baker.
2022, when Baker was with the Rams, he did work with him. Yes, sir.
Okay. That's a little bit. All right. Have a good night.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Good stuff. All right. We'll continue to read comments, and then we'll get out of here for the night. Now he's comparing Baker Mayfield to Michael Jordan. I've already made that comparison. Again, if you didn't catch it, sorry. You didn't understand the psychological or the mental of what Baker Mayfield does as an athlete like Michael Jordan, then I can't explain it to you. Let him go back to Cleveland. He's not going back to Cleveland. Baker's been a bad quarterback. Let me look at this. Baker Mayfield without Kevin Stefanski. I'm going to read these comments, Brent. Read these stats to you. 41 games, 14,400 passing yards, 105 touchdowns, 45 interceptions, 65% completion percentage, and 2 other playoff appearances, which he's won, what, 2 games or 1 game with the Bucs? He's won 2 games in his career as being in the playoffs, 1 with Cleveland. It's so dumb to attack Baker that way. Why would you have a quarterback at this point? We could win with Baker if Jason Light took care of the defensive roster in the last 5 all seasons. King Cook, I would take Deshaun Watson over Baker right now, restructure his contract, bring him to compete. He's terrible. He's a terrible quarterback. And on top of it, he's a terrible player off the field. Why would you even consider it? He's been they're thinking of Shedeur Sanders. You would take Deshaun Watson? Come on, man. Come on. garbage. He's done nothing. He's done absolutely nothing ever since he earned that big-time contract from the Browns. Stop it. How many good or great quarterbacks do you know that's clapping back at opposing coaches on social media? Baker is a joke. Well, I know the greatest of all time, and Tom Brady would troll people also and let them know and lets everybody know who's an Atlanta Falcon fan every year 28-3. Is he a bad quarterback? Come on now. Keep it in perspective, guys. Just because you don't like Baker Mayfield doesn't mean you can just take shots and throw stuff out there like that and say there's no other quarterbacks that do that. There are other quarterbacks that do that. Tom Brady did that and had a history of doing that. I'd like the quarterback to have some shade and provide some drama there because I think it makes the rivalry that much better. Real Baker ain't bro. You will see it again this year. We'll see. Chris Cole, Baker was injured. King Cook, another excuse. Yeah, I know injuries are excuses these days. I'm sorry. When you have multiple injuries, not just one injury, it's injury to your shoulder, injury to your oblique, injury to your knee. That's an excuse. So you don't think that would affect the quarterback when it comes down to it. Baker asked for a trade once the Browns moved on, got dealt to Carolina, then was cut before resurrecting his career. So technically he wasn't tossed out like Trump's trash. Yeah, he was. Because you traded for a guy that had the allegations of touching how many women and was garbage as a person, and the Browns are getting what they deserve. They did throw him out like trash after he did win a playoff game for them, after they made him play through an injury. They did. Sorry, Justin, they did. That's the truest fact of this. It is. They threw him out like trash. You don't throw a quarterback out that 1 year, your playoff game, your only single playoff game. By the way, have the Browns been back to the playoffs ever since Baker Mayfield left there from the Browns? No, they haven't.
That's good enough to suck right there.
Baker's doing things to get the fans excited. You know, his fans will not be excited based on what Jason Light doesn't do during the offseason. In a year where many fans are rooting for his failure. Realtor David Zuzman, don't like Todd Bowles. What Baker did at least gets fans excited about something. Chris, is that going to be excuse every year? Let's go out to William last year. Cohen agreed to terms, yet went to Jacksonville. Maybe Sam McDaniel does same thing to the Chargers. He hasn't signed anything yet. Stranger things have happened. I don't see it happening. Chris Cole, you tried throwing a ball with all them injuries. Absolutely. Baker had many injuries in the old line. Jason Light refused to upgrade center, had Barton getting beat 20 times every game. Baker regrets because Light failed to improve the team. Once again, we go back to this. When you lose both of your starting left guards, it's going to hurt the center position. So I think that's unfair. But could there be a change in the offseason where you see Bredesen at the center position and Barton at guard? Certainly a possibility. A team that's not improving in the offseason is a team that will be regressing during the season. Fair point. Cole, Peter, the Bucs were clear they wanted to upgrade a head coach, but the quality of coaching candidates was not good. They wanted John Harbaugh, but decided to move away from Jason Light. If Tomlin was available this year, he would be a Buccaneer today. Cole again, I love the social media stuff for Baker. He is the man. The Atlanta game will be must-see TV next year. That's my quarterback. Love that guy. Love the comment. Thank you, Sun Devil Dave, for popping in, as well as our other podcast member that showed up before the Sun Devil, Chris Cole. Mendoza dropping the F-bomb on live TV so much right there. Good stuff. Brent, you ain't winning a Super Bowl. We'll see. Do you know the lottery numbers? Let me know what the lottery numbers are. If you know the future of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if you know the future so well, tell me. You're probably the same person in 2020 that said when the Bucs were 7-5 that they weren't going to win the Super Bowl with Tom Brady. And guess what? Tom had this to say.
That's good enough to suck right there.
Let's see. Bucs family, love you all. Aloha. Have a good night. Let's go Bucs. Fire those cannons.
Fire the cannons.
Cole, anyone saying we need to trade Baker is smoking something really good stuff. Wow, some Bucs fans are just nuts. I agree. Lamar, we are not losing Baker Mayfield, man. That's our guy. Ralph Williams. Danny Smith, good hire. Agree. Thank you, bodyguard of the bird.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Lamar here. I agree with Cole on the Big Ten. Lamar, again, it was great hearing from Jason Powers as well. He's great. Let's all pray for All-Star A-Train on his speedy recovery. Didn't hear that, so I look into that. And, choir boys and girls curse too. Don't do that. Laugh out loud. It's okay. It's all right to curse sometimes when you get a little passionate. Let me go out to Matthew Rayburn here, 9417. Mendoza was literally the number one overall pick before he won the national championship game. He's that guy. He's been that guy all season long for the for the Indiana Hoosiers, the national champion Indiana Hoosiers. Always got Bucs on the brain. Thanks a lot to all the guests tonight. Of course, Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, Jason Powers on Sports Podcast. Where was that Baker Moxie Thursday night on Raise the Flag night against the Falcons? Though, let's keep that in perspective. Couldn't even carry the load to get us that must win, though. Laugh out loud. Did have a critical interception in that game, but also your defense gave it up with what was it, 3rd and 28 and 4th and 14, not able to get off the field. So it was definitely their fault. But yeah, it was either injury. Listen, there are no excuses, right? Baker Mayfield didn't play well the second half of the year, whether it was injury, whether it was offensive line injuries, whether it was offensive play calling, whether it was the defense. It did not work out. It's a big year for Baker Mayfield. It's a big year for Todd Bowles. It's a big year for Jason Light. It's a big year for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer organization, and it is a big year for you Go Bucs fans and you webheads that tune in Monday and Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock. We'll probably have a show on the weekends. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Facebook stars are open. YouTube Super Chats. If you like the content, give to the content. Enjoy the playoff games this weekend. We'll come back with Harry the Greek's picks and do 3 things. We'll keep it down. The roommates are in the building. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. We'll see you next time on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. And as we always say on this show to end it off, Go Bucs.